Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to episode 56 of the Snarp Fangle Podcast. I'm your host, Jake Metzger, your favorite code-switching podcast host, along with my co-host today. He never misses a beat. In fact, he creates music. Hot water music. So hot, you could cook ramen to it. He's charming, dashing, and rental car crashing. Ladies and gentlemen, David Reed.
Did you crash a rental?
No.
Okay.
He's technically renting my car, but he hasn't crashed it. So that's good.
Okay, that's what I was confused on, man. I'm like, wait.
Isn't oddly specific.
It's a Beastie Boys. So anyway, moving on. Our guest this week, who you've just heard, our real treat. Let me tell you guys. We got some wonderful Snarp Fangle jokers on the panel this week. See, the code switching's already happened. I need to watch myself. Sorry, I used the hard R there.
Wow.
The first we got is somebody who had Cupid in a chokehold. This guy plays the role of superglue as we dodge Papercuts while them good old Jewish boys telling us to shake our rump. Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Martin.
I'm not Jewish.
How you doing, Richard?
I'm chill.
All
You?
right. Well, it's good to have you here. Yeah, man. Exciting. All right. Anyway, our last, but certainly not least guest this week is somebody who has a thing for machines, but not the robotic kind, but the kind that has 4 wheels and likes to squirt oil on them. In fact, his favorite is all the sweet but naughty dark urban cars that could also be referred to as vinegars. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Reed.
Wow. Thank you. That
Why was
great,
so
great
sexual?
introduction.
How you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Good to see you. Good to have you here. I feel like I'm very happy to have you all here. This is going to be fun. We're going to be talking about rap and all that good stuff. So let's just get right into it. For comments, concerns, thoughts, and hate mail, as well as all kinds of recommendations of various lyrical poets you'd like to recommend to us, send them over to snarpfanglepod@gmail.com. Or you can just text Jake if you have my number. So, gentlemen, we've gathered here together in front of the congregation on YouTube of the Snarp Fangles out there, and we're here to talk about our, I don't know if you would say just favorite rap albums, but we each picked a rap album to bring to the panel, and we're going to discuss each one at a time. But I have a couple questions before we get into it, so here we go. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Richie, for this first question, and then we'll go through the whole line. What was your introduction to rap or hip hop? And was it like a song, a specific artist? How old were you? Was it an album? Do you even remember?
I grew up in the 90s.
You did? Well, hey, that's the heyday
Like,
right there.
I feel like that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who didn't know, like, Biggie or Tupac or any of that? I don't care if you didn't even like rap. If you grew up in the 90s, you heard it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How old were you? Do you even know or remember?
since the day I was born.
Days born. Your daddy's playing some Biggie. Just as it's just pew, Richard just shoots right out. You know?
More likely my mom would. And that would never happen.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
Anyway,
The moment that Richard's dad plays Biggie, like, willingly, is the moment I wonder if he's been replaced by a reptilian.
The dementia
Very
hit
true.
hard.
oh my gosh, this stuff slaps. Oh man, all
Didn't
right.
he used to tell a story about how his dad really liked Kiss until he figured out what they look like?
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember him telling me about it.
Once my grandpa saw what they looked like, he 100% was like, I will never listen to those F words again. And it was not words, by the way.
No.
Dudes in makeup draws the line, I guess.
Yeah, face paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing he ain't alive today. He would hate his life.
A lot of
Okay,
that,
well,
not
Jake.
even in rock bands.
Yeah. Well, it could be rock rap. It could be whatever kind of rap. But Jacob, for you, what was your introduction to hip hop? Introduction to hip hop. Excuse me.
When did you get addicted
When did
to
you
rap,
other
my
things,
guy?
not hip hop?
them urban folks singing them songs. You know. No, I'm joking.
Wow.
It could be
by the
any
way,
race.
this
Come
is
on.
for
That
white
could be any
guys.
race.
Now I gotta
The
name a
Beastie
white
Boys are
rapper.
urban. You listen to them, it's the Ninja Turtles hopping on the car, running down the avenue. Come on.
True.
So anyway,
Eminem. No, I'm just kidding.
The only white one we know.
do you like have a specific memory? Do you remember what song it was or anything? Or do you remember how old you were? Any of those?
I remember being pretty young, and I watched. Was it back when MTV wasn't completely destroyed yet? They used to do top 20. It was actually half decent music.
Okay.
It was Kendrick Lamar's "All Right."
Interesting.
This is-
Okay.
You just made me feel so old.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well,
Was it like you and David being like, "Yeah, this song's cool," and David's like, "Let me show you some rap, son." This is
no,
some
I
really
think
dope
it was
stuff."
after that. I don't.
Yeah.
I think David showed me more rock than anything. I don't know. We
Yeah.
didn't really listen to much rap in our childhood.
He probably showed a lot of the Led Zeppelin, right, David?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's who knows.
Who knows?
It was a lot of blanket on the name.
Like Eminem, 50 Cent, Jurassic
No,
5?
no rapping
No rap.
when we were
Oh,
kids.
rock.
Besides
Rock, yeah.
Well, it
Oh,
was,
yeah, I guess Beasties would
Yeah,
count.
Beasties, yeah.
yeah.
yeah, a lot of Beasties. Which was yours, right, David?
Well, my answer is pretty much the same as Richard's. Is I grew up in the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even honestly remember a time when I wasn't aware of rap music. I think my first great love, and as far as music goes, was rock. So I think the Beastie Boys kind of helped me sort of were the bridge that took me into more like appreciation of hip hop, kind of because they were sort of rap rock at some point in their career, you know? But yeah, as far as my introduction to rap music, it's like, I don't know.
So, all right, well, hey, that's what's up. I would say mine would be. I was actually thinking about this last night. I'm like, what is there a specific moment? I remember hearing whatever Thad was listening to, basically, and
Yeah.
basically, and whatever Angie like snuck into the house, basically, and like bought at Barnes and Noble or Walmart, and be like, "Yo, check it out! The Shop Boys dropped an album. I don't never heard of these guys before."
Sneaking in the Shop Boys.
There was a chick that was just selling the explicit versions, but I got the clean one, so here you go. And so that's what I listened to.
When you have to sneak in the clean version, that's us
No,
enough.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's us enough.
Jake was a sheltered boy.
I was a sheltered child,
Just
but
a bit.
speaking of sheltered, I was exposed to a lot of Christian rap, specifically, like through Thad. And I remember, because I was born in 97, and I think Thad I must have been like 4 or 5 or whatever, maybe even 3. I don't remember how old I was, but 2000 was the release of Is This Thing On by Red Cloud. And I remember walking through the hall from it all came to me last night. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, I remember this. So I was walking down the hall, going past his room, and he was playing When Kenpo Strikes on that album. It was like, everybody was Kung Fu. And I was like, as a 3-year-old, I was like blown away. I was like, whoa, bro. And I still have that same reaction today when I hear When Kenpo Strikes. I'm like, this song is so cool, so amazing. And I love it so much. Red Cloud was such a cool track on that 3-album journey he had. But yeah, that's what I remember. It was basically Red Cloud and whatever was part of the LA Symphony kind of thing with Sackcloth Fashion and all of them. But I'm not going to bore you guys with that. So, but it was cool. I think that's my memory. So thank you, Thad, for showing me all that greatness there. All right. Just a few more questions. Then we're going to jump right into our list here. Favorite artists? Anybody? Favorite artist? It could be right now. It could be like, usually it's this guy, but right now I like this guy or that gal or whoever.
That's so hard.
It's really hard, huh?
So hard.
Maybe one of your favorites.
I will say, lately, I have been listening to a lot of J. Cole.
J. Cole. Okay,
Wow.
yeah.
I know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know. Judge me. Do it. Do it.
Yeah,
He
this is
completely
a
noped
judging
out of the
zone
whole
right now.
I do, right?
Beef happening. He was just dipped.
Oh, yeah. Not
But we're
going to
not.
defend him at all, but his music's still good.
Oh yeah, this
music is
guy.
great.
You know what he looks like? He looks like the guy who is in Hamilton as Lafayette. Who's got the dreads?
I was going to say, you might want to be careful how you're saying this because they all don't look the same.
No. I'm just saying, like, the first reaction, he legit looks like him. Like, that guy's in movies and stuff. Like, he looks like him.
Oh.
Like, he looks like his older brother. Like, that's what I would say. Jermaine Lamar Cole. Interesting. I think I remember this guy, but I never heard any of his music. So.
Oh, I'm sure you heard some, but didn't realize it was him.
Mm.
He's been around, for a while,
Yeah.
making all kinds of different style music for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Did he
Older
perform with R.
albums.
Kelly?
Oddly specific.
If I find baby oil in this room, I'm leaving.
Oh, man.
By perform, you mean exactly what?
Oh, God. No. All right, well, cool. J. Cole. All right. Well, David, what's yours?
Let's see, favorite. That's a hard one.
hard
to. Man, I'm more of an album guy.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, album.
there's artists I like, but like albums are really where my mind goes to.
God, you're such a millennial.
I find that. I find that so weird
whoa.
because I could not tell you like any albums from like anyone I listen to because the way I listen to music is unless I feel like one certain person, this is the vibe I want.
Yeah.
I search that style on Spotify, I hit randomize, and then my workday's over, I turn it off.
And then you forget it ever happened.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so I'm an album guy, and I think as far as hip-hoppity rap music goes,
Hopping down the bunny trail.
Reminder again, we are white.
We are white. Yes.
I think I've got my holy trinity of rap albums. Got MF Doom, Mad Villainy, got Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest, and then the one that's my pick for this podcast, which is Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Top 3.
Yeah.
You're supposed to pick one.
Nah, whatever.
You failed.
How about you, Jacob?
Kanye West. End of story. Not much to say on that.
Everyone's favorite
Every
Nazi
single song he
rapper.
ever did.
I mean, you may not agree with what he says.
Yeah.
I hope you don't.
Wait, it depends on what
Hope
he
you
said at
don't-
the time.
No, I hope you don't agree.
Half
Yeah.
of it you agree with, the other half that contradicts it you don't agree with.
I was recently saw on Twitter the clip of them when Beyonce revealed she was pregnant, and like it cuts to the crowd where oh gosh, dang it, what's her husband? Dang it, crap.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z, thank
Yeah.
you. So Jay-Z, they showed the camera on Jay-Z and everybody's freaking out. And he's like, oh my God. And then like Kanye West is like hopping on him like, I'm so happy for you, bro. Oh my God. It was like 2016 or something like that. And I was like, whoa, I forgot that happened. Dang. Totally different time in a different era.
A happy time before people knew what was going on.
Yep. So, yeah, Kanye West, he's got some good stuff. So
Yeah, some bang.
some real bangers. Dude, I was listening to the one you
Lyrical
brought up
genius.
last night, Jacob, and I'm like, this guy knows how to make beats and songs. Like I know he's knew that, but it just time and a time again.
Yeah.
Was it? Did you and me and Justin go to
Yeah,
Chico
we went
that
to
one
Chico.
day?
Yep.
And we, for whatever reason, we decided to put on
Gold Digger.
Gold Digger.
Yeah.
And we listened to that basically the whole way there.
Okay.
And then, like I put it on
Banger.
and like
It's classic.
and then
It's
Justin's
a great song.
for some reason it was the clean version, and then like Justin's like, "Oh, this is the squeaky clean version." Oh,
If you didn't know,
it
we're
was
white.
so funny. So anyway,
All those
You just
broke
can't.
N-words.
all those broke N words. Yep.
That's a lot.
All right, last question. Favorite Eminem
Wait,
song?
did you even answer it?
Oh, did I? Oh, favorite artist? Oh gosh,
Yeah, you put us on the spot.
I'm gonna
Came
say
unprepared.
Echo, EKOH. He's an indie rapper online, and
Never heard
he's
of
done some really cool stuff. He markets himself as like a nerd rapper, like he raps about Marvel and DC and all that kind of stuff. But he did a
Okay.
song that was really interesting, that basically was an homage to Shia LaBeouf and his whole career, and it had a dope beat and. Yeah, so it's like the whole song was talking about his career, the mistakes, the comeback. It was all of his movies. Like it was really interesting. But if EKOH Echo, is what he goes by.
If you couldn't tell we were white, you can really tell now that Jake told us that his favorite rap artist is a guy who raps about Shia LaBeouf.
Dude, like I went through a ton of these albums we're going to talk about today. There's a lot of references to just different movies. And what's that called? What's the Road that the Beastie Boys dropped? Like The Road by Jack Noir or whatever. Like they're a bunch of book nerds over there in Brooklyn, you know? So anyway, but last question, favorite Eminem song, go. I'll see it. Without Me, definitely.
Okay.
I'm gonna go that route.
Favorite Eminem song would be the Weird Al version of Lose Yourself.
Oh, Lose Yourself. That's my choice.
I'm sitting here trying to think of any of his song names. 1 second.
While you look that up, Jacob, do you have yours? You got to think about it.
I'm thinking hard. I don't listen to Eminem anymore.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to any of his
Eminem in
newer
a
stuff.
long time.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of any
I remember
of
I
his new
say
stuff.
because Snoop Dogg had an album last year, and he like a brand new album from Snoop Dogg, and I pressed saved on Spotify, and then I never listened to it, and I was like, I should probably go back.
I'm
and
also
listen.
curious, why'd you pick the whitest black
He's
rapper?
the biggest rapper ever.
What?
Like, Eminem.
What?
Yes.
What?
I will probably have to say Mockingbird.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that song. Yeah, that's good.
I'm just still hung up on Eminem being the largest
He is
rapper.
the largest rapper ever.
Is that
Wait,
a fact?
That's
Or is that
the
a...
best selling, the most popular, most streamed.
I
Kendrick, I think, is probably right up there now with his
Mhm.
biggest research in the
I'm
last 7
Googling.
years.
Yeah, pull the phone out.
All right,
I
pull-
want to check
pull the
fact check
phone
this.
out.
You know,
Richie.
it's really funny. White people are really good at selling rap albums. Did you know that License to Ill is the #1 selling rap album of the 80s?
Fair.
Interesting.
And it came out in 87 too.
What?
But what happened to Logic's career? Where is he at now?
Oh, okay.
What
so,
or R. Kelly? You know.
so I hate this so much. Album sold 61.5 million. Second place is Tupac with 36.5. Then goes Jay-Z with 33.5. Then piece of shit Drake for 33.5 tied. Drake. Done.
So Eminem has that much of a gap?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dang.
He's
holy
like
crap.
double.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And why
Okay.
is it that
Wild.
they give Kendrick all the Grammys? You know, like he has like 6-7 Grammys now.
Be-
And it's like,
well,
what?
Isn't
Grammys doesn't equate to albums sold.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm like, come on.
Kanye's at 27.5, then Lil Wayne at 27, then Beastie Boys at 23,
Okay.
and then Outkast at 23, and this was just released earlier this month.
Dang. Okay. Cool.
So I guess
What a
this is-
list.
I did not even think Beastie Boys would be up there.
Them Jewish boys got to the top somehow.
Yeah, I didn't really know about their album sales as a whole, but I did know that their debut album is the #1 selling hip hop album of the 80s.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well,
dude.
no, like, not anything bad against them. It's just like, think of all the huge rappers, and then you go walk around, ask 100 people, how many do you think would even list them?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, when are we going to get the Straight Outta Compton movie adaptation, but for the Beastie Boys? Like, I feel like that's bound to happen at some point. Like,
That'd be
NWA,
weird.
they made a movie about NWA, which is, well warranted, I guess. But, dude, you got to get one about the Beastie Boys, man. That'd be cool. And 2 of them are still alive, right? Like, because I was.
yeah, I think
Straight out of the tabernacle.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna make a joke about. I was gonna make a joke about them selling all those albums because they're Jewish.
Oh, man. Well, before we get canceled, David,
Let's talk about
let's
Kanye.
talk about your album, which is the Beastie Boys. Them Jewish boys that just know how to sing and
Kanye
perform.
loves them.
Kanye loves them. So, David, regale us with your pick.
So
of,
my
the
yeah.
Beastie
So my pick is their second album, Paul's Boutique. Yeah. So I grew up hearing the singles off of it. I believe it was Shake Your Rump and Hey Ladies. So everyone's heard those songs. But the album itself is something that it kind of flies under most people's radar, and I think I first heard it only 5 or 6 years ago,
Whoa.
and discovered the album itself and listened to it all the way through. And it's, yeah, I was just like struck by like, wow, this is not at all what I expected, you know? I just happened to come across it, I think, on YouTube or something. It's like, wow, this is not at all what I expected. And so I did some research into it, and it turns out it was, basically they left their old publisher, went to, I think, Capitol Records, and I think it was the publisher that hooked them up with the producers, the Dust Brothers. And so they had an album of sample-based tracks that they had done that they were going to turn into like an instrumental project or something. And they, Beastie Boys heard that and was like, that's what we want to rap to. So it was all this stuff, all these tracks made completely out of just sampled songs. And like layer by layer by layer by layer, they built these tracks up to where they didn't even sound really like they had been like they were samples anymore. And the idea basically was to market these as like an instrumental sort of thing to sort of promote their own brand. But the Beastie Boys got a hold of them and was like, we want to rap to them. And they're like, oh, okay, well, do you want us to like, cut some of the layers out of them, make it more simple? And they're like, no, just leave them the way they are.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's a great album. It's didn't sell very well, which I think is actually might have what pushed the Beastie Boys to embrace rap rock later on in their career too. Because you had License to Ill, then you had Paul's Boutique, which you are essentially, other than the inclusion of Kerry King on No Sleep Till Brooklyn, it's basically pure hip hop albums. And obviously License to Ill was a massive success. And then Paul's Boutique, not so much. And so it's right after that they had the idea like, hey, because they were a hardcore band before they began rapping, and they began rapping on the side more as a joke than anything else. And turns out their fans liked the rap more than their other music, so they just went full in on the rap. And so after Paul's Boutique didn't do too well, that's when they're like, we need a different direction. So they're like, what if we started playing instruments again? And so it's kind of interesting. They were big in sort of like bringing rap rock to like the public, like the forefront of the public. And it's probably the failure of this album that pushed them to do that.
That makes sense.
But yeah, oh man, I love it so much. Just everything is like the way they built it up and the interplay between them. It's like, so good.
Yeah, I love the just the back and forth of them. It sounds like silly to describe it in words, but yeah, them taking turns in each song to emphasize like the hit and the lyric. Really, really, it just is so effective. And I love just the power behind it, and I love their passion. Like they are screaming into the mic in some of these ones, like legit. And I love that. Like it works super well.
And there's a quote from somebody that I want to make sure I get it right, because it pretty much sums up, I think, why I love this album so much, other than what I already said. Where is it? Let me make sure I get it right.
You scrolling Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah. So this is a quote from a contemporary reviewer. It said, an album that is littered with bullshit tough guy bravado, but it's clever and hilarious bullshit. Which,
yeah, that's pretty accurate. I mean, I don't know if I agree exactly with those words, but it's a fun listen for sure.
It is a fun listen. I cannot argue that.
And nowadays, it's an album that would never be made because the cost of the samples would put the budget of the album just to a point where no company would ever publish it.
You're right.
So who did the samples? Was it the Dusk Brothers?
Yeah, it was the Dust Brothers. Especially the song Shadrach. Such a banger. I'm sad that wasn't one of the singles because that's honestly the best song on the album, as far as I'm concerned. And that song is like basically the most expensive rap song ever made because it's made of several samples from Beatles songs.
Oh yeah, dude, what was the song? Was it Eggman that has the Jaws theme at the end?
Yes.
I was like, why is the Jaws theme playing in this?
Really? I've
it can
never
be.
registered that.
Huh?
I've not registered that at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, like I was listening to like toward the end as they're like fading it out or whatever. But dude, the Jaws theme just straight up plays at the very end.
Yeah.
And
And then
like, what?
the really hilarious thing about it, that song too kind of exemplifies the whole hilarious bullshit element of this album because that song has like one of my favorite all-time lines in any rap song. So it's called Eggman. And then the line goes, suckers, they come a dime a dozen. And then one of them cuts in and says, and when I say dozen, you know what I'm talking about.
There's some really crazy lyrics in here. I mean, I will get to it, but there's some wild ones in here. Dang. I like a Johnny Royale, or Royale, or however they pronounce it. Like that one, when it starts, it's like, oh man, this is good. All right. And it's like, it's just a straight up banger. It's one of those that has got that Ninja Turtle driving down the street kind of feel. That's what I would equate it to, you know? Richie's giving me a face.
What is that supposed to mean?
That felt scripted.
Yeah, I'm so
These
confused.
down last night. I'm writing my notes as I was listening to it.
Yeah, Jake's a pretty scripted guy.
It's got that
No.
ninja kind of feel, you know? That Teenage Mutant Ninja kind of feel. It's in Brooklyn, right? Or where are they? Where's Paul's Boutique? Where's
Yes,
Beastie Boys
it's in
located?
Brooklyn, yes.
All right, cool.
Head
See,
spinning and all
Jacob?
that fun stuff in the.
So your standout is Shadrach, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Why? Like any particular reason besides like all the samples, the lyric, the
Well, for
the lyrics in it?
one thing, the beat is just one of the best. Basically one of the
It's
best,
so good.
one of the best beats in any rap song that I think I've ever heard. And the interplay between them is really great. And then also, it's a rap song that references Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the Bible.
What? Yeah, that's what it's called. That. Oh man, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego.
Which, makes sense when you realize the Beastie Boys were 3 Jewish boys from Brooklyn.
Yeah. A lot of this went over my head listening to
I'm
this.
surprised there wasn't like
right?
a lyric and they're like, they were standing in the fire. It was kind of cold or something crazy like that, you know? Anyway, Jacob, what do you think of Paul's Boutique in general and specifically Shadrach as well? Shadrach?
I gave it a quick listen,
Mm.
but I feel like a lot of this just went over my head. I didn't really think too deep into it because I mean I've listened to Beastie Boys a lot, and I'm just like, oh yeah, there's another solid Beastie Boys album. But hearing this is like, I think I need to re-listen to it, focus on it. I really liked. I think that might be on the special edition or something. It was the Stop That Train, where they warble that sample.
Yeah.
That just tickled the brain. It's so good.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was on Spotify listening to it and they have the, it's not B-sides, but in the 20th anniversary version, which is the only one on Spotify,
Yeah.
they have all those like B whatever tracks.
Oh yeah, that's B-Boy Bullabot. I don't know how to
I
pronounce
can't
that.
pronounce that either.
So it's on the original release. It was all one song. It was all one track. So, but on
Really?
But on later releases, they separate them out into little short tracks.
Let me see if I
makes
can
sense.
find the names of those.
It's like bolabasa or however you pronounce
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
like
some
a
kind
B.
of food. I have no idea.
Bolognese.
Look up Jewish foods.
Paul's Boutique.
Jewish food.
Jewish food.
Jewish food.
That
Paul's
sounds like
Dream by Hans Zimmer. You can go to that. Was there any other standouts for you, Jacob?
Just the classic ladies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Hey Ladies. That's a
Right?
great song. That's
That's
a great
all
What's
I
a
song.
cowbell?
Dude,
Hey
the
Ladies.
cowbell. Man.
Hey ladies.
Hey, ladies. It's all, yeah, B-boy. Oh, God, it's a big word.
Butchered the name.
Bully
Do it.
bass. Bouillabaisse or something like that.
It's like so close to being bolognese, but it's not.
It's like BOU
What if it is just
ILL.
bolognese and he can't read?
Maybe. Yeah.
ABAISSE. Like it's got like 13 letters in there. That's a big word. It's a little bit too big for me. Maybe it's not too big for Richie over there. What do you think of all
I'm
this
not saying that
craziness?
word.
All this. I can't even pronounce it, so I can't even tell you what it is. But, dude, yeah. Hey, ladies is great. 3-minute rule really threw me for a ringer. Like,
I don't
God.
remember that one.
So that's the one that says "sucking on your mother's."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
I was like just listening to it as I'm like doing the thumbnail for this episode, and I'm like, what did he say?
You know exactly what
You
he
know
said.
exactly what he
said. What's the standouts for you, Richie? Beastie Boys.
It
Paul
is
Petit.
just Hey Ladies. Like that one also though is so much nostalgia. Like hearing
Yep.
that one. Like and also it's one of those, it's just so fun. Like when you turn it on, like it's one you go like sing with. You gotta
Yep.
go. You're not sitting there listening to it. You're singing it and then you're all like wondering how do you remember all the words when you haven't heard that song in like 10 years and then you don't remember what you did yesterday.
But it all comes back to you once it goes, you know.
Dude, right?
Yeah, it was a fun one. Did David? I want to get your opinion on Eggman. What's up with that song?
Eggman.
Yeah, what,
Great
they talk
song.
about Robotnik from Sonic. Or
That's
No,
all I
there's-
can think of.
They're talking about eggs. Like
How
it's
Dumpty Dumpty was in
basically
there.
it's basically one giant string of egg related puns. So you got suckers, they come a dime a dozen, and when I say dozen, you know what I'm talking about. And then there's another part where there's another part where it says not like the crack that you put in a pipe.
No way, that's in there, dude.
That's actually fucking
That's
great.
fire.
That's
Wow.
fucking great.
Dude, Beastie Boy, they're on another level. Yeah, that has the Ninja Turtle. What did I write down here? I said Ninja Turtle hopping rooftops in Brooklyn.
What
kinda
is with
feel.
all the Ninja Turtles?
I just was listening to it and I'm like, because look, Beastie Boys has been in like some Ninja Turtle movies, some Ninja Turtle
I didn't know that.
episodes.
I didn't know that
And so
either.
like, and it makes perfect sense because they're in New York.
I'm just like
they're in
sitting here
Brooklyn.
like, are you saying Beastie Boys belong in the sewer or something?
No!
Wow.
Well, hey, they did find Jewish people in the sewers, tunnels underneath New York. Do you remember that?
You should
Kanye
invite
predicted
Kanye
that.
on.
It all leads back to Kanye.
You're the one who's saying all this shit.
I have no issues with Jewish people. If they want to go into a sewer, that's fine. I just have questions about that. Why are you going down to where the Ninja Turtles live? Come on, man. Yeah, and the Jaws thing was weird in Eggman. I thought that was strange. Okay, the beat in High Drift Planer.
High Plains
Oh,
Drifter.
High Plane Drifter. Dude, I think that's one of my favorite songs on here. That's like, that's a good song right there. Makes me happy. Good.
A little too
It's
happy.
satisfying.
Yeah.
It's satisfying. It's like, let's do it.
Do you need to change your pants?
You
now,
know,
guy?
oh my
Pants
God.
feeling tight in the front.
Speaking of pants, like it says, what was it? 3-minute rule. Dude, that's a wild line. I was making records when you were sucking on your mother's, and I was like, what? Dude. And they don't say the T word, they say a different word. And it's like, dude, that's a wild line. And a wild line to cross, I'd say.
Oh, speaking of which, I was listening to it a couple days ago, and I caught a line that I'd never caught before listening to it. It was just so stupid. It made me laugh. It's like one of them's like, I can't even remember what song it is, but one of them's like, I'm so high, call me your highness.
That's great.
They got some weird ones like I mentioned it earlier, but like you slip, you slack, you clock me, and you lack while I'm reading On the Road by my man Jack Kerouac, which is like just some random book from the 50s about I think it's a fictional novel. It's like, what? Okay. And then like one that stood out to me was like, and I'm always going out dapper like Harry S. Truman. I was like, okay, sweet.
Wow.
One of our old presidents, sweet. But that's pretty much all I have
if you
written
can't rap
down.
about
I
dead
liked
president. Can you rap?
I liked looking down the barrel of the gun. That track, that sounds really good, and that was really great. And then the Sounds of Science. That actually stood out
Oh
to me.
yeah,
That's a
Sounds
good
of
track.
Science. That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
and of course High Plains Drifter. That's good stuff. Well, anything else on Paul's Boutique? It was the second one they did,
Yeah, it was their second album.
and then after that, did they just be like, "Hey, we need more rock in our life"? You know? Because they went more rock rap than rap rock after this, right?
Yeah, I think the next one was Check Your Head.
Check your
I think. I can't remember.
Mm.
It had the big single on that was So What You Want.
So what you want? What you want?
Okay.
And then the album after that was not Licensed to Ill, Ill Communication, which of course
Banger.
was Sabotage. And then you were the one, I think, who turned me on to the fact that there was one of the songs had a verse from Q-Tip in it.
I think the song title is Ill Communication on that album.
Q-Tip's on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So good. Banger.
I need to listen to that one. What's it called? What's it called again?
Ill Communication?
Ill Communication. All right. I'll have to listen to that.
Q-Tip, what you on the mic for?
Well, speaking of Q-Tips and other things that have to do with paper, let's transition over to Richard's pick.
That was
His
so
album
clean.
choice.
That
And what would
actually
that-
really was.
And what would that be, Richard, as I hand it off to you?
Well, man, after David clearly knows so much on his album, and I'm sitting here just like Gym Glass Heroes, Papercut Chronicles, making sure it's number one, not number
Yeah,
two.
not number 2.
There is a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. And it is mostly nostalgia, like all day, but if you do listen to it, like every single one of those songs, like for me, picking a favorite album was hard because I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this song. I really like this rapper. But then I sit there and I'm like, oh, 3 of these songs are like bangers. The rest are kind of mid. But I'm like, that one, I can turn on that album and I'm happy with every song that comes on. And I like it because it's like, you get a lot of like, oh, here's romance, like teen romance rap. And then you get out of nowhere like Faces in the Hall, where it's like
Dude.
mostly rapping about like you never know what's going on in another person's life.
Mm-hmm.
And then like on all sorts of just wild things. Like one of them, I think that's the same one where one of them is like, this is like what, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So it was like
It's 05.
teenage. Oh, 05? Okay. So it was like a teenage boy is one of them he's rapping about and how he's like gay and he's trying to become like in with the cool kids. So he throws like a party at his house and stuff since his parents were out of town. And then the kids he was trying to become friends with just beat him to death.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, that was right after a love song.
Yeah, legit.
Like that transition. But then you're listening to it, you're just like, oh, hell yeah. Then you listen to it and you're like, oh.
Oh, hell. Oh, wow. Yeah, dude, I was listening to this last night. I don't know why, but it really made a connection with me, dude. Like, I was listening to this and I was like,
Is this
"Oh,
you
is
coming
pretty
out?
good." What?
I said, is this
You
you
want to say
coming
that
out?
one more? No. No. But dude, back onto
We
that
won't beat you
song
to
though.
death.
As I'm listening to this, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I remember these guys. These are pretty all right. And then I get to Faces in the Hall. And I'm like, whoa, like it really caught me off guard. Cause I'm like, what the heck? And I like click on the lyrics and I'm reading them as the guy's rapping. And I'm like, dude, what? And then they go into the second story about his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, wait, what's happening? And then he connects it like partway, a third of the way through the second verse. And I'm like, dude. And then it shows like her reaction to the death and like the lesson that is taken away from that song. I was not expecting it at all.
See, I always do get it mixed up because there's another one on a different album that's similar.
Oh, okay.
So I do get them mixed up because they are pretty similar. But is that the one where the girlfriend then dies in the car crash?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the last line of the song.
Yeah.
She drives away and she dies in a car crash.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah. There is another newer one that is kind of a lot of the same aspects and stuff. And so I do get them blurred. But Faces in the Hall just is
It came out of nowhere.
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Everything on it's just because you're just like, dude, like, all right, this is nice. This kid, like, his parents were even like all for the party, like, do it, get some friends and stuff. And then it's just like, oh, like,
we're going there?
these girls like drug that girl just so she's not in there to help save him and all this other stuff. And you're like,
This is dark.
and the song right before that one, I'm pretty sure is just a love song.
Yeah, just a love song. But it's funny because like this whole album ebbs and flows. Like if you've listened to it, you go from Papercuts to Petrified Life, which Petrified Life is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get out to Makeout Club, which is like just a hilarious song. And then you go down to A Few, and then So Long Friend. And then you get to like Pillmatic, and you're like, oh, this is getting serious. And you go to the biggest one, which is Cupid's Chokehold. And then Faces in the Hall, and you're like, holy crap, this is like that song cemented to me the whole album, where I'm like, this guy, Gym Class Heroes, whoever his name is, I don't even know his whole crew, but cemented to me like this guy is extremely talented, knows exactly what he's doing, and is bringing something new to the rap scene around that time too, of telling stories. A couple other rappers were doing it. Eminem was doing it, stuff like that. Some Christian rappers later, like Lecrae, really dove deep into that as well. But yeah, this is another example of just great writing, great flow.
See, that's one thing I do mostly. Why I appreciate rap is I like the storytelling you can do over other songs.
Yeah.
Because other songs, yes, you can do a story, but you're kind of limited on how you can do it. But rap, because most rap songs don't have a chorus, don't have this, but it's the same length as a normal song. So you're fitting in a lot more into that. So you could listen to the rap that's just all about, just selling drugs, this and that. Or you can get some that actually have like legit stories.
Yeah.
Some of them get weird, insane. Some of them are just funny stories. Some of them are just life lessons. Then some of them are just kind of sad and depressing with a cool beat and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this album's awesome. What do you guys think? Mr. Reed and Mr. Reed.
This album was kind of a major nostalgia trip for me. I haven't even listened to Gym Class Heroes in longer than I can remember. And then, so yeah, the first time I heard Cupid's Chokehold, for the first time for a long time, I was like, whoa, where has this been?
Yeah, same. I'm like, I remember this song. Huh?
Dude, seriously. It's like, yeah, Gym Class Heroes, most people, especially if you're a little bit like grew up when they were popular, everyone knows them. But then when you think of it, it is like Cupid's Chokehold, a few other very select songs, and then that's it. Just like same with the Beastie Boys, very select songs, and you're sitting there like, there's better. There's a lot better.
Oh yeah. Like what? Better than Beastie Boys is what you're saying?
No, like other songs.
Yeah. Well, there's a variety in the rap space.
Yeah. Well,
And that's
because
what's
like
awesome.
Beastie Boys, same thing as I feel Gym Class Heroes. They're big hits, amazing songs.
Yeah.
But then some of their like how David said that was a bad album selling wise and everything. It has like one huge hit, but then everything he talked about wasn't even the hit.
Yeah.
You know?
Shadrach and all the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Jickabob? Gym Class
It was good.
Heroes.
It was good. I didn't know Gym Class Heroes too well, but a
Yeah,
few of the
same.
songs I heard, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's who this is.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it hit
remember
me.
Richard and David playing that in youth group,
Yeah, it's like a little bit burned into my brain from surrounding music.
Yeah,
so.
Jacob, I remember Richard picking me up from youth group and he was having that on the radio. Yeah. But yeah, dude, like, you're right. It brings you back.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it just weirdly reminiscent, and it's not something that I've actively played. Too is the weirdest part. Is like it just kind of hits in this is actually a specific part in time, and not like a mood that you pick when you pick music.
It's kind of timeless, is what I would say to describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? It was funny, Richie. I was looking it up because I'm like, I know Gym Class Heroes. Obviously the stupid "My Heart's a Stereo," like which was his last album, which makes me really sad. And I'm like, damn it, Adam Devine, you gosh dang filthy mainstream artist, you just destroyed him. Like, but anyway, I don't know. I need to look at the history of where he went after that.
Well, you were even saying like timeless, like that is one thing I really do like about it because it's weird because using Beastie Boys just because of age gap. Think of the things they're rapping about. Then when Gym Class Heroes come out, the difference. But then think of nowadays, if you actually did like the same style, like rapping about, because most Gym Class Heroes is like kind of high school related.
Yeah.
And stuff. But then like look at all the stuff they're rapping about. It's still stuff that's happening like now going on. And you're like, okay, that was 20 years ago when that album came out, and there's like no difference. That's kind of wild to think of. Like, most of the differences is just how, technology's even more, and now this stuff's even worse than it was back then.
Yeah, because when this came out in 05, I was listening to the Pillmatic song last night, and I'm like, oh, dang, I was not expecting this. And then I was thinking about 05 and the opioid crisis and all that stuff. And now what we have today, same thing, but even worse now. Like, it's crazy. Like,
dude, fentanyl. Get that Betty Boys.
Yeah. God. And also, it's weird. For some reason, Spotify didn't have the lyrics for this one song, Pillmatic.
Really?
I was like, that's messed up. Like, come on, Spotify, do better. So,
you
but
heard
anyway,
them. You heard him.
There was that
better.
one. And of course, I want to talk about Makeout Club. This song.
Are you trying to ask us to make out right now?
Should we shut this door?
I like
there's
it
a
open.
door.
They can watch.
Oh my God. But dude, the whole song is talking about him like with different chicks. And it's like, as I'm going through it, I was like passively starting to listen to this album. And this is what locked me in, as the kids say nowadays. And I was listening to it and I'm just losing it at my computer. I'm like crying, laughing. Because it's like so
talking
fun.
about the girls'
Talking about
bad
all the
breath
girls
and
the bad breath. And this girl named Monica, she gave me gifts at Hanukkah. And I'm like,
yeah. But why are you bringing back Jewish stuff
my
again?
God, I don't know
my
why.
guy.
You keep doing it.
My guy.
But like like there was Melanie. To have a mouth like that should be a felony.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had such a fun time listening to this song.
And the thing I like is there's a lot of songs that are like Makeout Club, but they're all usually insanely sexual.
Yeah.
Because you got like,
that's why I thought where I thought this was going.
yeah, because like, isn't it like My Dick by oh my goodness, Hollywood Undead, and it's just a dude talking about like
talking about his
my dick and all the STDs and all the bitches he fucked and this and that. But this is just like, yeah, no, it's sexual. Yes, but it's like literally just about girls he kissed and kind of how he did them wrong and dirty just so he can make out with this girl instead. And now, that's the new one of the week.
New one. Yeah.
Let's go.
The grass is greener, you know.
Like, it's so funny, but it's also like on most rap related things, that's such a clean song. Like,
dude, so
clean.
So much.
So clean. But then when you're actually listening to it, you're like, God, that guy was a prick.
This guy
douche.
This guy's a jerk, man. Yeah, I love that. And then, dude, we got to talk about the most popular title on here, which was Cupid's Chokehold. What do we think, Richie?
I mean, again, banger.
Timeless.
Banger. Like,
so good.
I'm not usually like a love song fan, but the way they do it is just so clean, simple. Like, they're not super lovey-dovey and stuff, but it's like kind of true. You sit there and you listen to it and you're just like, damn.
Yeah, you're like, take a look at my. And I'm like, oh man.
She's the only
like
one
this
I
was
got.
like when this came out, this was like everybody who's in a relationship at that time was like, this is my theme. This is me, my girl's theme, man. Or
Oh,
just
there
like
you go. I
passively,
take a picture
whatever.
now.
So take a picture. I got a picture in my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do y'all think of that main song too, or any other songs that stand out to you on this album?
You can tell Jacob didn't
Man,
really listen to it.
These reads are having a staring contest. Jacob is.
I listened to
David
it. I
is
listened
like.
to it.
Well, like I was even planning to go this deep with what I wrote about some of the albums here, but I just had a good time listening to them and also stayed up way too late doing it. So it took
Okay.
a lot of time to do it. Like I was up till, and we had an hour. We lost an hour last night. So I was
Yeah,
up
we
even
did.
later. Like I thought it was, it was funny. I was listening. I'm like, I got all done with your guys's, and then I'm sitting down listening to mine just passively, like as I'm playing like Trials or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. And I put on full screen on the monitor, and I saw, oh, it's only like 1:30. It's fine. And then like
Instantly blipped. to
yeah,
3.
and all of a sudden, like no joke, a half hour later, I look back, I'm like, holy crap, it's 3 a.m. I better get to bed.
So speaking of that, that's what happened last night. I was starting to listen to yours. And then I'm like, okay. And I got like 3 songs in. And then I was like, what happened to the time? So confused. Like lost. I was like, I need to go to bed.
Dude, yeah, I was like partway through it, like just like you, and I'm like, holy crap, it's 3. I gotta go to bed. But dude, yeah, Gym Class Heroes. David, what words do you have for this album?
I was a little groggy when I listened to this, but yeah, it just really hit me. It was a major nostalgia trip. I was not expecting it to be major nostalgia trip. Cupid's Chokehold, great song, and then Papercuts, the title track. That was solid too. I liked that one. It just had this kind of chill vibe to it that I was not expecting.
Let's see, what did I write down last night? It was all a blur, as they say. Faces in the Hall is legit. Oh yeah, we already talked about. Sorry, I was just like trying to go over. What did I write?
That's how hooked he is on it.
But I would say like the mastery of that. Like going back to that track, the mastery of the storytelling, and that's what I love about rap so much is not just the writing or how creative you can be with it, but the stories you can tell and what it fits in. We see a lot of that with specifically NF nowadays. And I feel like NF, my critique with him is that he kind of leans way too far into that to the point where almost a lot of his songs become, at least for me, not very enjoyable or not very good to listen to. He's still super creative and super great. However, sometimes he goes a little overboard with that kind of thing. Like, okay, dude, I've heard your story. I understand. And I resonate with a lot of what you're saying. But at the 7th album, okay, I get it. Like, let's do something else. All right. I don't know. That's just me. But.
Yeah,
I get that.
But yeah, no, that is one thing. It's solid when a rapper is like really diverse, even if they can have a similar style every time. But like, there's something really diverse because if you listen to a lot of Gym Class Heroes, everyone's like, it's so upbeat, it's this, it's that. But like, Papercuts is a great one. That whole song's talking about like, basically the woman he's in love with, been in love with his whole life, and a horrible toxic relationship they're in.
Yeah.
And it's all about like the paper cuts are just all the small fights and everything they're having that's just bleeding him out like emotionally.
Yeah, it's building up. Yeah. It was so cool. Shoot, where was I gonna go with that? I can't remember.
Know.
Dang it, Richie threw me off. What the heck, man?
He threw off his groove.
Threw off my groove.
Them Ninja Turtles you up.
Well, speaking of Ninja Turtles, Gym Class Heroes, did the title song for the TMNT, the CG animated one in 2007, just called TMNT. It was, I know you guys don't care about this.
We keep going full circle with this.
Yeah, full circle, man.
And now
so like,
are we talking about rap or Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Both, because Gym Class Heroes does the song for that movie.
Please tell me somehow both of your guys' favorite also ties in with Ninja Turtles.
That would be
It does
awesome.
not. It would be cool.
That would have been amazing if somehow it all did.
And I'm not even a huge Ninja Turtles guy, but it's just
No one believes
interesting.
you right now.
Well, shout out to Chelsea, who's probably listening to this podcast, because I remember we watched that movie years later after it came out, because it was released in 2007, like 2 years after Papercuts. And it's called Shell Shock. And I remember listening to him rap. And this was this was the second time I heard Gym Class Heroes, because I heard Hard as a Stereo. But then I heard this and I'm like, dude, this guy's awesome. Like the way he's making this rap, the writing and everything, like it's super cool. And then to get to this album, like, oh, it's that guy. So it all like connects back to each other is what I'm saying. So highly recommend. It's called Shell Shock. You got to listen to it. It's so good. So
Life
good.
is Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles. Did you watch Ninja Turtles growing up, Richie? Or no?
Yeah, I grew up in the 90s, man.
I was gonna say that's
Not every
kind of
90s person watches
There's a reason
Ninja
why I have a
Turtles.
pizza addiction, my guy. Like, a sewer rat sounds like a great job.
yeah. You don't ask a millennial if they grew up watching the Ninja Turtles. It's a dumb question.
Everybody's
Dude,
different. I don't know.
No, talk to any millennial. There's
'Cause
a reason why we're all f***ed up.
Well,
Is it
I
Ninja
didn't-
Turtles? Is that why?
No,
It's all
you just,
Kevin Eastman's fault.
I'm all sitting here like I can go on a lot of this, but Nickelodeon back in the day had some shit.
Oh yeah, it did.
Oh, real monsters.
Oh yeah, that show was creepy.
Dude, are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
messed up. Yeah.
I like how Jacob's face is like, what?
Not particularly, no. I don't have a nightlight or anything.
Not anymore.
Only LED lights all around his roof.
Yeah.
Real quick before we go past Papercuts, the lyrics, I love just these are my favorites. Like, I'm painting portrait. He goes really fast, so I apologize for the way I'm like presenting this. But he says, I'm painting portraits of dysfunctional families with gloomy faces, rocking "Don't Worry, Be Happy" t-shirts, and you're assuming I'm tasteless. And I was like, what the heck?
That's a mouthful.
And then like, there's some other ones in there too, but like, I can't even read this because I don't even remember what song it was for. But there's some really dang good ones in there, like especially on I think the decrepit bricks especially. So, and that's funny because that's the track that you go into and you're like, okay, this is like just normal rap or whatever, and then you get to later on and you're like, oh, okay, all right. Like you get to Papercuts and then Petrified Life, but then it gets more and more as you keep going. So, any last words, boys, for Gym Class Heroes, Papercut Chronicles?
I noticed you did the white rappers first.
I'm honoring our
Interesting.
elders, Richie. I did David first, and now you.
The white
yes.
rappers first.
The elders, the elder white people.
The elder white people.
Well, speaking of those that love white people, let's talk about your pick, Jacob, and the person specifically who loves white people who's on that album. So, Jacob, let's go ahead and dive into your pick for our wrap album.
All right, let's do it. I picked Kids See Ghosts. I don't
The
know
album
if
or
it's,
the artist?
Yeah, I don't know if they are an art group because from what I understand, it was a group of just Kanye West and
Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi. But it only lasted like 2018 to 2022.
Oh, really?
And they
There's
only
more than
released the one album.
Oh, it was only the one.
Yeah. So I don't know that you should call it a group. It's more just a
just like
collab on a singular album.
It was probably things Kanye said.
Well, it's probably an experiment too. Like
It was probably things Kanye said.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm saying like them together. This was an experimental album, is what you're saying.
Yeah, supposedly what I read is actually they did break up because of disagreements. So
I mean,
Richard may have a point there.
All I'm saying is in 2018, Kanye was up here.
Yep.
And then 2022, we all know what was happening.
Mm-hmm. We all know. Say it one more time.
The Jews.
It wasn't their fault, I think. It's just his opinion on them, I think, right?
I'm not saying yes or no.
Left open for the viewer.
Like
Leave it up to your
Dave
imagination.
Chappelle said, if it's a group of black people, it's a gang. If it's a group of Italian, it's a mob. And if it's a group of Jews, then you better not notice or talk about it.
I thought he says it's probably a coincidence.
No.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's
He's
what
like,
it is, yeah.
He's like, it's probably a coincidence, and you better not notice it.
Checks out.
Yeah. All right, Jacob. So Kids See Ghosts. What's this about? Why do you like it? And why'd you bring it to the table here?
It's just a great album. The entire album just feels like Kid Cudi and Kanye West did ayahuasca and made music. It's awesome.
That is actually so true.
Yeah. The like tribal almost like beat in the beginning.
Ooh, okay.
And then just makes no sense. The samples are weird. The Christmas-esque sample on which one was that?
I don't know. I will admit I didn't get to listen to the whole album.
That's fair. I think it's
only
Fourth Dimension.
7 songs.
Yeah, it's only 23 minutes long.
Yeah,
That's
23
so short.
minutes.
That is insane.
Yeah.
But it's just packed full of good stuff.
Mm.
Well, you know what they say. It's better to leave them wanting more, right?
Yeah, I wish the group would make another album. But
Not a single woman has ever said that.
Anyway, Jacob. What's some standouts for you in this guy? In this big ol' album?
I don't know necessarily that there is standouts in this album. I like every song pretty much equally, except for there's one line that's just amazing. He says, I like breakfast in bed, but I love breakfast in head.
Yeah, I remember catching that
That's
one.
killer.
No one can argue that.
Well, it's definitely a Kanye one right there.
But then he brings it back. He goes, to anybody that said I was better off dead, don't ever believe what you ever read. Keep a Bible by my bed, because yes, I'm very Christian.
Yeah, it was so random.
That's
I'm
like-
like, what?
He goes through an entire thing in like, what, 6 lines?
Yeah.
It's just completely different train of thought. It isn't even a solid thing.
The start. Of
Wasn't
the
that
downfall.
Reborn on that? Was that the track?
That might
think
be right.
so.
I think so. No. Reborn. I
No.
don't-
I think it might have been Fourth Dimension or like Kids See Ghosts. I think it's probably Kids See
I think
Ghosts.
it's Kids See Ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand Kids See Ghosts. That actual song, like the intro, just
It's a little
god awful.
Yeah, I can just
Yeah,
hear it
you're
in my
right.
brain.
It's that one. It's
Once
that
the
one.
intro passes, it was fine, but
Yeah,
then
after
it goes
passes.
back to like an exit, and I'm just all like, can we just cut those and then just have that center, and then the rest is trash.
Wow.
Well, I'll be honest. It was a little annoying listening to the intro with all the Kids See Ghosts, that kind
Oh
of
my
thing,
God,
and the
it was
outro.
Just
It was
too
just
much.
kind of annoying. I'm like,
If
I
they
could do
cut
without
it in half, I would have been better.
Yeah, it could have been like a 3-minute song instead. I could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can hear it in your head though, huh? You can hear it in
that's
your
not
brain.
a good thing.
Amazing.
I know a lot of things I
Latches
hear in my
on to me
brain.
like a spirit.
I can hear Kanye's scream at the end of the track.
Wait, he
too.
screams
He
at
goes,
the end?
"Ah!" Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Dang, I didn't catch that. Dang. Maybe I skipped it because I was kind of creeped out. I don't know.
Give it a couple more listens, drink a little bit of
Anyone
ayahuasca,
wanna
you'll
do
get it.
ayahuasca now?
Yeah.
Like, I know a guy.
He's sitting in the room right now as we all turn to David.
Yes,
He
Yeah.
does work on
Ayahuasca
Indian
Connect.
land.
I do DMT all the time.
Okay, what?
Sure.
Dude, Feel the Love, the opening track?
Yeah.
Banger. Like, solid, great. Like, that when that hit came on, I'm like, dude, Kanye is Kanye. Like, he knows what he's doing. And I don't know a whole lot about Kid Cudi.
Does he know what he's doing, or does he know what he's doing with music?
He's doing it with music. He knows what he's doing with music. That's for sure. That's for sure. This is right as he's getting off his meds, so it's okay. But anyway, the point is, yeah, that first one, you can tell the guy always makes a good beat, and he just like with this experiment with Kid Cudi, it really stood out. It's pretty interesting to listen to. It's the whole album, like you said you love it equally. I can tell because the whole album is a vibe. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a certain specific thing that they put together, and it gives off a certain feeling, and it's really interesting. It's got, I don't know if it's good vibrations or what, but it's some kind of vibrations, and it's
It's all the DMT.
solid DMT,
Ayahuasca.
I feel, dude, the level of like on Spotify, just on Spotify, the level of streams that this album has, it's like every song's nearly over 100 million, except for like 3.
Mhm.
Like that's a lot. Like the lowest is 76 million.
Half of
plays.
them are Jacob.
Very well could be.
Very well could be. Yeah, I like the vibe it brings. It's pretty neat, and lyrically, it's really cool. Like I love the way Kanye writes in the songs,
Not in
and
his tweets.
and the lyrics. I'll read one here. That you ain't seen a minute, called on the telephone, and when they see that you say, "Damn, you got hella grown." Always thought you make it, but damn, now he hella known. And like just stuff like that. I know it's super cheesy and silly, especially as we get into Jurassic 5. However, I just love that kind of lyrical writing. And that, honestly, that's pretty cool. I like it a lot. So yeah, for me, the favorite tracks for me was like Feel the Love, the first one, and Reborn. I really like those. And Kids See Ghosts is cool. Richie, I kind of feel the same way. I feel like the beginning and they're a little too high on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
Feel
Or
the
we
Love?
weren't high enough.
Wait, what?
I said it could be we weren't high enough.
That very well could be.
Probably. I should have been under something. While I was
Yeah,
doing
I
this.
think out of all of them, I think Feel the Love is probably the one they were most high on.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He's
I
like
love
screaming and whooping. In
Yeah, I
that
love
one.
listening to the. I love
yeah.
because I listened to it on YouTube, and it was just like all the comments was just memeing the lyrics.
Yeah.
Because this kid Cudi, saying I could feel the love, and then Kanye with just the gun noises.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
Oh, so good. Yeah,
Yeah,
got.
I was honestly not expecting what this album turned out to be. It's pretty cool pick, I have to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, Feel the Love. That was just like, I heard that. I was like, what did I get myself into?
I feel like that's like the most mainstream appealing song on there, though.
Well, I don't know where you guys are getting that idea.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Like,
that's
I
the
was
one that
listening to
like
it and I'm
hits my
like,
brain like, oh god.
Well, also 2018.
Flashbacks.
Also 2018, Black Panther came out this year, so like this kind of goes along with that. Like they had a ton of different artists on that movie as well.
Okay,
do kind of similar African beats.
Oh, okay.
So this kind of falls into that in my
Okay.
mind. So I could see why people are like, "Wait, Kanye's got a new album with Kid Cudi? Oh hell yeah! It's like 7 songs. I wish there was more, but let's listen to it." And they're like, "Oh, we gotta get some for this song," as they put it on, you know. So
Yeah, but Fourth Dimension though, I really like that. The way they like they started just playing the Louis Prima, I think it was his name, the sample that they use. It just starts by playing that.
Yeah.
And just like, is this
a
just
Christmas song?
is this just an old timey song now? What's we're just listening to an old early artist songs now on this rap album? Is that what's happening? And but then the way they like morph it and use it in all of the song is super cool. Really enjoy it. And then of course, you gotta love Kanye's National Socialist rap stylings. Always a classic sound. That was a Nazi joke.
Oh, okay.
all right.
Okay.
Nazi
You got me there, David. I'm not a Nazi. I didn't get that joke.
Yeah. Nazi is an acronym.
Yeah, National Socialist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
party,
it's an
yeah.
acronym for a German phrase that I believe stands for that I believe translates to National Socialist Workers Party.
I hate to say that. I feel like you're right because it makes me feel like I'm a Nazi because the whole time you were saying this, I'm like, David knows so much about Nazis.
But yeah, so that
I warned you this would happen.
that was
And I said, let's go
When he
for
moved
it.
in, Jake.
It's not our podcast that's getting taken down. It's theirs.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through this one. I'm gonna have to go through cut some stuff out of this one.
The regrets are here.
The regrets.
The regrets.
no regrets.
Oh, I love the Gertz. Richard. What are your thoughts on? What are your final thoughts on Kids See Ghosts?
Yeah. I mean, I'm
need
going to
more
be
Monster.
honest because mostly I was complaining to this about Jacob. My Spotify's weird. If I play it on my phone, only with albums, it will play the first song, then it'll do some random suggested, then it'll play the next song of the album, then random suggested and do that. But if I play on my Xbox, it'll play the album, which is weird. So I
Do you
tried
have the like special magical shuffle thing enabled?
The shuffle with the little
The
star
shuffle with
on
the
it.
star on it? Because that
the
that
smart
does
shuffle.
That. The smart shuffle, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
You need to click on that shuffle icon twice, not once, to turn it off.
Shit.
Because it'll be like the crosses with the shuffle, which is normal shuffle, like we all know. But then there's the. It kind of looks like I'm making a swastika right now. But anyway, with my fingers. But the point is, it has a little star on the shuffle thing. So maybe turn that off. You'll see it on the phone.
Maybe, because I was trying to listen to his on the way of coming here, and that didn't work very well. So
It just starts playing some 50 Cent
I heard like
song.
3 songs. 2, I couldn't tell you what, because 2 were like, oh, this is solid. And then I heard the Kids See Ghost song, and that almost made me turn off the album.
You got to listen to it like 6 more times.
I gotta listen to it while high.
Yeah.
Later tonight, remind me.
No, remind me. I liked this pick, Jacob. It's very unique, but I mean, I got fielded love out of it, so I like it. It's cool. I think I got some from each of these album picks that we all did.
I will say,
it's good.
at least when Kanye is rapping on this album, he's not like gasping for air like he's dying.
Yeah.
Like he just went up like 20 flights of stairs, like. Because any Kanye song, when he does that, it's automatic dislike. I turn the bitch off. It's horrible.
Have you seen him perform live at all? Like not in person, but on YouTube at all?
Not really.
It's really entertaining. He puts on a really good show.
Oh, I believe it.
Like he's a really good entertainer.
I don't know. Whenever he does that, like I feel like it's a style because I've
It's
heard so
definitely a
many
style.
songs where he doesn't do it amazing. Then like when he's in his part on Carnival, I love the song Carnival. Then he does his part. I immediately have to turn the song off. It rages me. It sounds horrible. I feel like he's going to die any second, gasping for air on the ground. Yeah. horrible style.
Mm.
Fuck that. But at least this album doesn't have it.
That you know of yet.
Facts.
You still got a couple songs.
More will be revealed.
Could be,
Jacob's like,
could hit.
Joke's on you. They're all coming next.
No, I think this is good classic Kanye where it's like the lyrics are silly, but you could hear them really well. They flow really well. It's just good old nonsensical Kanye, not
It's creative too. Like
Not
he's-
National
doesn't really-
Socialist Kanye.
Thank you.
Socialist Kanye.
Yeah.
Thank
That's where I
you.
was going with it. I just didn't want to.
I don't want to be the one to say it. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. David always comes through with that kind of thing, you know. Always bringing up them awkward Nazi moments.
Oh yeah. Speaking of awkward Nazi moments.
Oh no!
Oh man.
Interesting segue.
I gotta bring up something from our previous episode.
Huh? What
I feel like it fits.
Oh,
I
no.
feel like
What-
it fits.
We talked about Star Trek Next Generation. What are
No,
you
no,
talking
no. Sorry. The one
Space Nazis.
Space Nazis.
the Q&A one. The one before.
Yeah, 50.
The one before.
Yeah.
Oh man. Just
4.
the Negaverse question from
Oh no,
Chelsea.
No,
And it was Jake that got me on this. It was Jake that got me.
I was very careful how I said that word because
Yeah,
she
it's very
said
close.
NEGA, Negaverse. What would Negaverse Jake and David be? Would they be making a podcast? What would it be on? Would they be girls? What would be the inverted versions of Jake and David?
What is a negative?
Like
Negative.
like universe,
like
like
universe?
negative,
Oh,
negative
yeah,
universe,
because
negative.
Gotta find a
honestly,
new name for that.
The
Yeah.
whole time I was just trying not to laugh at Jake, trying so hard not to say it wrong.
Well, see, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
That's what happened.
That's what happened.
So he
you
started.
say it?
No.
he
Did you
started,
say hard R?
Not intentionally.
He addressed the question by being deliberately and very careful in how he said it, and it just brought it out of me. I was like, oh man. He was like, I can't believe you, Chelsea. You saddling me with this question and I have to say this word and blah blah blah. I'm like, hold on, Jake. I think she's onto something here. Imagine, if you will,
Oh no.
like all the
Jake and
black
David Black.
superheroes got together in one big comic book special, and it was the verse.
Like the Spider-Verse. But instead of the Spider-Verse, it's the...
And then Chelsea later,
she commented
she
on the
commented on it. She's like, I hate you guys.
video. And I did mention, Richard, I probably shouldn't, but I did say, what would Black Jake and David, what would they be doing? And then we both look at each other
One's
and both
on
instantly
crack.
regretted it and just started laughing. So what would a Negaverse Jacob and Richie be doing? Like negative versions of you guys, like
Probably
in a
listening to
different
Eminem.
universe. Listen,
Not
what?
being broke.
Say again, Jacob. I didn't hear you.
Probably listening to Eminem.
Okay.
And what's the other one? Blanking on the name. I don't want to blank on the name because
Drake.
no, who's the dang. He does.
Lil Dicky.
LL Cool J.
Lil Dicky's good, actually.
Dude, Lil
Yeah,
Dicky
I'll
is
say I like
fire.
Lil Dicky.
But
He's really
what's the
good.
last one? He was semi-popular for a minute, and then he seemed to fall off.
Macklemore.
I forgot about him.
Same,
Dang, what's the name?
actually.
I mentioned him earlier.
Oh my god. Comment? No.
I always forget his name, and I don't know why.
Oh my god, you said it.
Yeah. Who is
We're gonna get this. We're not moving forward until we get it.
Yeah.
All right, there's only like 5
He's got the
white
glasses.
rappers. So
Logic?
Logic.
yeah. What happened to that guy?
The Logic, bro.
The last thing I've heard from him was he
I'll
made
be
a
home in
line.
5 minutes.
He made a line. He said, "I'd sucka just to prove it ain't like that."
I mean,
no.
So that's the last I heard.
Grinder's
from
a thing for a reason, y'all.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I feel like Logic would sell his soul for just about anything. 'Cause,
It's logical.
I mean, the last thing I heard from him wasn't even a song. The last thing I heard from him was one of those god-awful anti-smoking ads that make you want to smoke more than anything else.
He is on one. Holy, you're right.
Which one? I don't think I've seen that yet.
I can't remember how it goes, but you know the type of ads I'm
Yeah.
talking about, right? Yeah, he made
This
one.
is your brain on drugs.
He made one, and it was I think basically he was like, the whole point of it, like he was like basically trying to like make you feel stupid if you started smoking or something. And it was just like, I'm not even a smoker. And hearing that makes me want to smoke just in protest. And that was literally the last time I ever heard Logic's voice on anything. So I was like, after that, I was like, I'm done with him. I'm not
so
fair enough.
valid.
What's the guy who did the song? Why you gotta the song Rude? Why you gotta be so
Magic?
rude? Yeah, Magic. What happened to him? He did that one album and he's gone.
I think he got married.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
you know?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Am I right?
Dang it, women!
Think he
taking
married her
away the
anyway.
good artists, you know.
Just for
same thing
single
with
guys.
like Kanye, him and the chick he dropped that album. Somebody I used to know, and then he became somebody I used to know.
See that the thing with him is I'm not familiar with that guy's music at all. I don't even think I've actually listened to the song that was famous. Well, I mean, I'm sure I've heard it, but I never knowingly put it on. But I happened across an article for like some ungodly hour in the dead of night, and I read it for some reason. And so now I know the story of why he is somebody you used to know. Because apparently he never wanted to be like a famous singer or anything. He did that, and then I guess instantly regretted all of the attention it got him. So he withdrew from the public eye.
Interesting.
I mean,
Kind of like Frank Ocean.
you gotta
Where'd that guy
respect
go?
it though. You really do gotta respect that.
Yeah, I remember. Who was it, David? It was Super Chick, the random Christian band. Super Chick it was like kind of girl power in the 2000s, and they stopped making albums, and then they just disappeared. And then they like randomly were, I think TMZ or of all people, like found them, and they're like, "Hey, you guys used to be," and they're like, "Yeah, we used to be Super Chick." And they're like, "What happened?" And they're like, "Oh, we had kids." And then we just raised them, and then we left, and that's it. We made some money, and then we saved it.
We
and
decided to
raised our
actually
kids.
take care of our family and
Yeah.
be functioning adults.
Yeah,
Oh my
unlike
God.
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
I mean, sometimes that happens, Like this isn't rap, but one of my favorite stoner metal bands of all time, what was it called? Sleep. There you go. Yeah. Their drummer, like, he was great. Like, super great. And then, like, when the band, like, reformed later after they broke up, like, he's just like, nah, I don't want to be a part of it. I got a life now.
Oh, interesting.
He's like, he basically retired from making music and just lives his life.
I mean, you do have to respect that someone's just like, I love my life and I'm so happy that I don't want to change it even for fame and money.
Yeah.
Based.
Based, as they say. So, speaking of based, let's talk about my pick. No, I'm joking. But
Jurassic
no,
Park.
let's go over to 2002 and talk about Jurassic 5's album Power in Numbers. So, Jurassic 5 is interesting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but with them, but it's basically, I think 4 dudes got together with this DJ named DJ Newmark, and they got together. I think it was 2000 was their first album. They did Quality Control, and it was very much leftover 90s kind of style, early 2000s rap, but they kind of hit it off and got real popular for a moment for a couple albums. And then later on, they even did stuff with, of all people, Dave Matthews Band. So it was very 2000s. But they got together, did these songs, and their shtick is they each rap a portion of the song because there's 4 dudes. Kind of like with Beastie Boys a little bit. But with this, it's more like, more chill, but more, just really neat. And I first discovered that, I remember listening to this album right as I started working at my current job back in 2018. Maybe there was something ethereal in the world, Jacob. Like maybe there was like something happening spiritually, or some kind of thing happened in the world. Because Kanye and Kid Cudi released that masterpiece, and then like maybe that sent out positive energy into the internet somehow. And somehow I found my way researching different music and albums, and I was exposed to Jurassic 5. Maybe that's what happened, because it's kind of what happened. Anyway, I was hanging out in the computer lab where I work, just chilling. and when I wasn't helping somebody out, and I just like, it'd be really boring sometimes. So I just bring my drive and just organize music, like kind of leftover. Like I remember growing up, organizing my iPod, and I would still do some of that at that time. And I would just organize it, customize it. Shout out to YouTube to mp3.com. That's what I'm talking about. And basically I would just find the albums on YouTube, download them through that, and organize them because they were just blank, like customizable document MP3s you could get, and just put them on my phone or put them on my drive and organize it that way. I got a ton of great stuff through that. And one of those was Jurassic 5. And this wasn't my first album I listened to, but as I went on, I found this album, and specifically the song What's Golden. Man, that song's a banger. And so, excuse me. From there, I just kind of fell in love with them. And then I remember we were talking about doing this podcast, and I'm like, which album would I pick? So I went through a couple. I went through some hieroglyphic stuff. I went through some Red Cloud stuff. And then I was going to do Red Cloud, but then I listened all the way through to Powers and Numbers. And I pretty much love every single song on this track, except for like some of the other ones. They're pretty dang cool. They're pretty awesome. They're actually also strangely more clean than a lot of rap at that time. Like you could put some of their songs in that Christian rap category, but they say the N-word, so you wouldn't put it in there,
That's why.
Yeah.
I was telling Jacob, I was like, I thought these were Christian rappers because he was showing me the parental advisory on one of them, and I was just like, dude, I could have sworn these were Christian rappers, but I was like, I haven't heard them in probably since I heard them with Thad.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I was like sitting there just like, nah, like I have it ingrained in my brain. These are Christian rappers, and I don't know why.
Well, it's funny because Quality Control, their first like big hit, they only say the N-word once. And it's very missable when you listen to it. So I think that's why when I was working at the store, I would play that all the time. And it was weird because I'm like, I didn't notice it until like, I don't know, whatever 100th time I listened to the song. And I'm like, oh, interesting. And then like you go through their discography and yeah, it's just, they talk about whatever. So gangsters, whatever, what have you. But it's more very old school style, very like 90s based, and just very lyrically creative. And I just love them for that. And they're just fun to listen to. The DJ Newmark guy got some really good bangers on there. So good. Like they partnered with a fantastic guy, and with their writing really melded into really great, you could call it a product. So, and they deserve the money. So I'd happily give it to them. You guys have any experience with Jurassic 5 or anything like that? Or you said you heard him through Thad one time?
I feel like it was with Thad. Like
I believe that.
That just registers
Sounds right
in there. Because like when you said it, I was like telling Jacob, like, I know them. I cannot tell you why. I'm pretty sure they're a Christian rapper, but I couldn't tell you anything about them, like at all and stuff. So, I also have a trash memory. Like, let's just be real.
They're definitely not Christian rappers.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, that was engraved in my brain. Like they were. So it's like still mind-boggling that they're not.
Well, it's funny because the first time I heard, so there's 4 dudes, right? And they get together and do stuff still. But the one guy, the guy with the deep voice, his name's Chali Tuna. And he's got a weird name. He spells Chili, it's Chali, and then number 2 N-A, Tuna. So that's like his rap name. And he is so cool. If you ever heard of the song International, that's like his biggest hit, and it's so good. And if you go to his Spotify, he just has tons of really great songs. And highly recommend Chali Tuna. He's the one that I found Jurassic 5 through. Like I found because the way I found it was like, I went down a rabbit hole. It's like, oh, SSX on Tour, the PS2 Xbox game, right? What was that song I remember listening to? So I Googled it, found the track list, found the song called International. This is the music we are putting out, and everything is all right. And so I went and found that song, and then I found Chali Tuna, and then I found Jurassic 5, and that led me to Power and Numbers. So highly recommend Chali Tuna, Chali 2NA. Super cool dude. He's got he releases stuff every year. He's pretty consistent on that. And I think he's in his 50s now. So pretty cool. Yeah.
He gotta be.
What did you guys think of this album? Have you heard a little bit of it? You listened a little bit? I know it's Richie fell asleep, you know.
Yeah,
so it happens.
I'm
it
not-
lulled you to sleep, you know.
I'm not going to lie. Like, yeah, no, I was listening to it. I was digging it, but I was like also half asleep, so I didn't like lock in or hyper focus or anything.
And then the voice of Mufasa, Charlie Tuna, just comes in and he's like, go to bed, Richard. You gotta sleep. It's a big day tomorrow. You gotta record.
Damn, I wish that happened. That would have been so nice. Just like the soft breath on my ear while he's saying it.
Charlie
like,
Tuna just whispering you.
Damn. Okay. anyways. But no, like I have
man.
zero complaints. Like I was digging it. Like, don't get me wrong. It was great. But like I said, I really couldn't tell you like anything other than like if somebody's playing it, background music or put it on, like I will not complain.
Yeah.
This is solid. But I didn't get to like lock in enough to even say anything.
That's all right.
I couldn't even tell you how far in the album I got because I was so confused on that time change. Just like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
Because I was like, I sat down at like 1:30 and turned this on. I'm so like, what? I need to go to bed.
That's so funny that you and me we were in that same scenario. That's so funny.
Yeah.
How about you, David?
Yeah, great album. I don't think I've ever actually heard them before now, which is really interesting because it feels like this would have been something I would have heard back in the day, like Richard said, hanging out with Thad. But yeah, this was my first exposure to him. Really, really pretty good. I like they've got good influences. They've got a lot of
Kind of like jazz.
they've got a lot of Tribe Called Quest kind of influences. One of them even actually really sounds like Q-Tip. And then also too, there was some moments there that reminded me of Kool Keith's debut album that he released under the name Dr. Octagon, which is a cult classic of underground hip hop. If you've never heard it,
Is
feel
it
like you
really
mentioned it.
underground?
Like how underground are we talking?
Nowadays, I don't think it's
Are
underground.
we talking Tony Hawk's
Well,
underground?
I
or are we
mean,
talking underground?
it's underground in the sense that like
No, way back in the day, hardcore underground.
it's underground in the sense that you're not going to find his music on a major label at all.
Yeah, no. It's mostly the main reason is just he's so brought up nowadays by other rappers. It's like, nah, he isn't really underground anymore, but he still is.
Well, he was underground in the sense that like, he never made it on a major label, and I don't think he ever wanted to. But he was kind of like a rapper's rapper.
Yeah.
So he got brought up into attention that way, kind of. But yeah, there was moments on there that was like really reminding me of his debut album. I was like, man, these guys, they've got some good influences. Because I do really like Kool Keith, and then also like I said before, Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest is like one of my holy grail rap albums. And like Jake says, What's Golden, banger, really great. I also really liked A Day at the Races. That was a cool one.
That's a good song, yeah.
And then, of course, there's One of Them, which was so funny. I was not expecting.
Oh yeah, this
I was not expecting that what that song was about, because it's one of them. But one of them, what, you might ask? Well, one of them N-words.
Why was
really
I so
catchy.
Why was I so hoping they were talking about Jews?
It's at the end of the
Full
album,
circle.
Richard, unfortunately.
Like that would have been hilarious. They did it before Kanye did.
Oh my gosh. 2002, bro. We did it before it was cool.
They shouted out Louis Farrakhan.
It's like The Simpsons did it.
Muslim Brotherhood.
Oh my. Well, Jacob, did you get a chance to hear this at all, or?
Yeah, this I think the first one I played, I really liked it. It was not what I was expecting at all. It's just the intro of the first song caught me so off guard because it had that like reggae-ish almost intro, and it really caught my attention. There was a song that stood out to me, and I thought I put it in my brain, but I want to say it was Acetate Prophets, but
That's
was
the
that
last
the
track
last
on the
one?
album.
that was the outro.
That was the outro.
Maybe
yeah.
that's why that's stuck in my brain.
Yeah, they usually do like just an instrumental
Yeah,
song
so then it
for the
was
outro.
Mm.
In all their albums, I believe.
can't remember which one of it was.
There's one. Some of Us is really good. Your wrongs are right. Your songs are right. With the
I have
power,
to
and the
listen to
power
it. I
and
can't
spite.
play it right now.
It's really
on the
good. So I
mic.
would. Okay, so if you go back, if you want to go back to the album,
Mhm.
What's Golden, High Fidelity, and then I'll point you to one of them. It's a fun song. It's like their most like risque, I guess, song on the album. Yeah, risque.
with a little
But
wrist flick.
it's a banger. Like, yeah, it's one of them, but it's like, ooh, it's so catchy, and it's like, oh man, it's like, it's good. It's good stuff. But yeah, What's Golden, High Fidelity, Some of Us, and then you could do one of them. Really good stuff.
So you think, man,
Oh, what do we got?
I was just wondering because we already offended Chelsea
Yeah.
over
Who else
over
can we do
the,
it?
the
Yeah.
Her
the-
twin.
over
we
the
al-
black
we already-
joke,
and we
I was gonna say we already offended Chelsea over a black joke in another episode.
Why is she so offended by?
So
Black
I'm
racism.
wondering if in this episode we can get Adelaide too, because
Oh no.
right on the heels of we watched that show with you and
Arcane.
your sister
Yeah,
and
Angela. Yeah.
yeah,
We watched
and
Arcane.
had that character who was the big black dommy mommy.
Ooh, you talking about the League show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show, yeah.
Season 2 sucked.
We haven't watched it yet.
I
That's
told
what I
her.
hear.
I told her on the way out of church because they're having a deacon meeting.
Oh yeah.
Talking about that
So
Dommy
as
mommy.
I was on there, I was like,
Adelaide.
"Oh, I heard that Jake said you really liked my
Analysis.
characterization of that certain character." And she's like, "Oh, but she is though." She said the same thing that you told me.
But she is.
And she's like, it's weird that you thought of me though. I'm like, well, as soon as she came on screen, both Jake and Angela were like, oh, that's Adelaide's favorite character. And then as soon as I said that, she's like, I hate my family.
Okay, so I gotta play this for you guys. It's what I texted her when I did a voice recording of her yesterday. It's only like 20 seconds, so here we go.
All right, so we just got to the Arcane episode with your favorite black character, the Vendessa. And David said, well, after the scene ended with the introduction, David said, well, there's Adelaide's big, dommy, black mommy.
I just like how much emphasis you put on black. Both times.
It's all
not
about
once.
delivery, Richard.
No, but not the first time I was like, okay, maybe he was trying to say it polite. Then the second, black.
Oh, well, there's so many things I could say after that, Richard, but I'm going to refrain from saying them. So,
You want to keep your podcast,
well,
don't
you already revealed at the beginning of us talking about Jurassic 5 that you're fine with a big Dommy somebody above you because you wanted Charlie Tuna was whispering into your ear.
Have you
The
heard
dude's
that?
like 6'4", he's tall.
Okay, it's not like I said I want him to cuddle me. I just said I want to hear his like breath with that smooth, silky voice in my ear telling me I'll go to sleep.
Ah, Richard.
Kind of like seal singing in your ear. Just a
Dude,
kiss from
right?
a
I'm not
rose.
saying I want him to hold me while I feel something like poking hard,
Yeah.
Like, no,
I
I
get
want
the
to walk the
separation.
next day.
Dang. Okay, so lyrics about the album. There's Some of Us in High Fidelity have really fun stuff to sing along to, but like there's a one that I think it's If You Only Knew. While you rap your bit styles in the third degree, myself in 7, tight like cornbread, Earl and me. Like there's just some weird wonky ones like out there. That's kind of cheesy, but it's awesome. Like I love it so much. And then in What's Golden, the song opens like this, and it's awesome. It's like, let's see, do I have the right one? Yeah. Check it out now. Yeah, I work the pen to make the ink transform on any particular surface the pen lands on. And it's like, oh, like we're getting right into it. And then once Charlie Tuna comes into What's Golden, which is like 2/3 in the way through, then it's like, all right, we're here. Yeah, let's do it. Like What's Golden is like the best track on the whole album. You gotta listen to that. So, but anyway, that's all I got. Jurassic 5, really great. I think they did like, I want to say, I have Spotify here, I can check. But I want to say they did quite a few albums.
Yeah, there was a couple on there.
Yeah, I
I
think,
was just looking at that.
it was 4 total. They did from 2000 to 2008. It's an 8-year run. My critiques with the album would be Powers and Numbers has a lot of fat they also have a lot of intermediate like songs, some freestyles, but also like radios and random voice clips they get throughout their careers. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
but I feel like that was
I feel
the
like
style.
a lot of
Yeah.
it's a style.
Like, no, but back then, like, that was kind of popular.
And it didn't interrupt the album flow much.
I could see that, especially with this album, but I kind of don't like skits and a whole lot of stuff like that.
No, that's fair.
but these flow a lot better.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I just feel like around that time frame, that was like a thing.
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, because you got like Wu-Tang with like
yeah, Wu-Tang.
2-3 minute intros, and
Yeah.
then the song
Even
hits.
Gym Class Heroes,
Mm.
I think it is Papercut Chronicles, has like the hidden track,
Mm.
which is their last song is like
Yeah.
super long because after a long pause, then there's just like weird little raps and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah, I was
robot
wondering.
talking, right?
Yeah,
That
it's
was
some
so
weird
funny.
Because the
stuff.
song's over, or there's got to be something at the end.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
like a minute and a half in, and then it stops, and then literally 3 minutes later, this robot's talking the rest of the rap. Basically, it's so funny. In the Papercut Chronicles.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely a thing that's of its time because
Yeah.
nowadays hidden tracks are
Mm.
not hidden anymore.
No,
Yeah,
not
definitely.
at all.
And final thing I'll say, I forgot. So the song Thin Line, they have this dude named Nelly Furtado, which is not the reason I brought it up, but they have a guest singer on there. And basically it's a lot like Faces in the Hall, except it's just about relationships. It's about, it's called The Thin Line because it talks about the thin line between like, hey, you're friends with the chick, but if you cross that line and like get with her or date her or get in her pants or whatever, that's the line that's crossing, and then you can't go back over that line. And it's really interesting how they present it,
Jump
how
the
they
line.
how they rap to it. It's really, really interesting. It caught me off guard. It's more it's not experimental at all, but it's definitely a nice change of pace as you get through the album. And it's just a special track. It didn't stand out to me until this week when I was listening to it on the way home. And that started playing. I'm like, what is this? I don't even remember this song, Thin Line.
Mhm.
And it's probably one of the most standouts on the album in general. Like, there's a lot I love on this album, but that one's like the standout. Like, I could give you my favorites, but that is like the standout for me. It's really interesting. And when I listened to Papercuts, it made me call back to that too. So there's some
Nice.
cool stuff. So that's all I got for you boys. Is there anything else we want to talk about, cover?
Yeah, I got one.
Nazis?
I did tell Jake I was going to do this if he remembers.
I don't.
Pull your pants
Here we
off.
go.
No. That's once David's gone.
That's 2 episodes
that's
later.
David can't be here for that. That's weird.
Episode
fair.
69 is long ways away, Jacob. So
Fair.
Hey, yo. No. I told Jake I wanted to ask, who do you guys think is an overrated rapper?
Kanye
let's-
West. No, I'm
Because
kidding.
because mine's 100%, like, I'm pretty sure it's clear if you listen to the beginning. Drake is trash. I'm sorry, most of his big hits are literally, can you call someone a rapper when they just go, God's plan, God's plan, God's plan?
you sound like Pastor Nick. No.
But he probably does it a lot better.
Oh yeah, he does.
And doesn't have all the other baggage too.
Dude, right? Like, so
That
I'm just
too.
curious, like,
Yeah.
they need to be a big name. Who do you think's overrated? Like, why?
So we're just throwing shade at specific
just
artists.
throwing-
No,
yeah.
I
Awesome. No,
want
like, who you
a-
think
I'm
is
cool with
overrated.
this. I'm
like
cool
an
with this.
actual
I'm down.
reason why.
Oh.
Not just because they are a Nazi.
Eminem.
Not because they're white. No, not because they're white.
That doesn't count.
No, I mean, I don't know. Some of his original albums were like really they are
Oh, they're
really
really
good, really
good
good.
stuff, yeah.
But then he's kind of gotten into this headspace where like he thinks he's above it. Like, did you see that thing? This isn't meant to be political, but he's rapping against Donald Trump.
Oh, God,
and he's
I
like,
hated that.
that's an awfully
Oh,
hot
the one where it's
coffee
like the
pot.
hit piece. Yeah, the coffee pot
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Should I throw
That-
it on Donald Trump? Probably not. And like he's
Or, like-
expecting everyone to like minds blown. It's like, what is that?
It's not that great.
Yeah, that was.
If you're gonna do
My
a
3-year-old could do that.
yeah, if you're gonna do a diss track, do it better.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing
Yeah.
is, I'm also sitting here like, I don't understand the point of doing a diss track of someone who can't do one back.
Yeah, it's-
Because you're sitting
Yeah.
here like, I don't care. You can hate Trump. None of my damn business. But no one in the right mind wants to hear Trump rap. So do a diss
Well,
trap on
that's
someone
some
who,
people.
if Trump ever even tried to do one back, I don't care. He could have the best lines ever. It's going to be trash.
What if JD does it for him?
I don't think JD can rap either. I've looking at looking at the paleness of their skin and the.
Says the guy whose favorite album was the Beastie Boys.
I know. That was a joke. That was a joke. And also, it's one of my favorite albums.
It's one of my favorite albums.
The other two are black. Okay.
Okay. Well,
just kidding.
good for you, David. Good for you.
That's like the I have black friends defense. If somebody calls you race, I can't.
Yeah,
be
because
racist.
I love. Is it because I love Red Cloud? I can say I'm friends with the Native American community. You know, it's like what the heck. Okay, so you're saying Eminem because of what that stuff, and then the weird diss track.
Just on his newer albums, they just don't hit anything, and it's like
they are kind of mid.
Yeah.
I will give you, like, they're not trash at all. All the new ones are not bad, but nothing like, oh my God, like Slim Shady, all that good fire back in the day. It's just like, this is just a solid one. If it played on the radio, it's just enough where I feel like it's kind of like radio
good
rap.
enough,
It's just enough.
you know.
It's just enough to keep the name out there and make your money
Yeah.
and stuff, but there's nothing like, oh my God. And when was the last time he's even tried to do something different?
That's a good point.
Like, no, he found his niche, which if you got your niche, make your money, do that. But he has so much money that
dude.
he can try so many different things. And if 6 albums flop, he's still fine.
Yeah. He's like the Nintendo of the rap world.
I mean, yeah, basically.
Yeah. So I would agree with Eminem. I'm going to have a different choice, but I can see why you say, Jacob, because like even with the newest album, which I don't think I listened to the whole thing, but I was a big fan of most of it. Even the stuff that got super demonic, I kind of liked, like some of those weird like devil songs that they got on there. I don't know why. I don't know why that accent slipped in there, but anyway.
Code switching at its finest.
Yeah, and we're going Southern draw now. But anyway, I could see that for sure. Mid is a pretty accurate description of it. I do like how, but I will say I do like the new stuff that he brought in, but it's preying on nostalgia. I think that's why I like it, because it's preying on the old Marshall Mathers stuff.
Yeah, he thinks that his name still carries that weight, and he has that confidence and everything, and it's just like,
when in reality and dude, the whole thing about the diss track, I'm like, how much money did he get paid for that? Because why would he make a crappy half-assed diss track like that?
Yeah, it was
just
so
for like
weird.
the Grammys or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
You know he got paid out the rear end for that one.
Oh my God. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And like all the stuff in his new album be like, F everybody, even like even my whole family, even my daughter, like I hate everybody. It's like, dude, shut up. Like,
yeah, it's such a callback.
It's so
to
stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it comes off as cringy.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, because he's trying to be his like original ones where he's talking about like driving his baby mama into the ocean kind of thing, where it's like his big hits.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, what about you, David? We got Drake, Eminem. What is yours?
Mine is kind of like a personal vendetta that I have.
A diss, as you should say.
So it's not really like, it's less a critique of the music and more just like how I came across it.
Will Reagan.
No, not a rapper. Not a rapper.
That we know of.
I'm not a rapper.
My overrated one would be Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh. Watch out, everybody. Ooh.
And like I said, it's less a critique of the music itself and more of how I was exposed to Kendrick Lamar. So basically, when I first heard Kendrick Lamar, there was a period, I'm trying to remember exactly when this was. I think it was probably like maybe 2015 to 2018, maybe somewhere in that era. But my memory is a little fuzzy on that. But there was just a period of few years when I first started hearing about him, when like everybody was just ranting and raving about him. He's the greatest of all time. And usually that when I'm I'm a contrarian by nature. I've tried not to be, and I just am. So when I hear that, it makes me not want to listen to something. But then there was just this period of few years where I would like, anytime I went on the internet and looked up anything rap related, Kendrick Lamar was like, he's the greatest rapper ever. To Pimp a Butterfly is like modern day Mozart. I'm like, it really got on my nerves how much everybody was up his butthole in those period of few years. So it kind of like that sort of, it kind of leaves it's sort of, you know, there's this kind of like, it puts a little bit of a damper on my enjoyment of his music.
I mean, I can get where you're coming from. I won't say he's the greatest of all time or anything, but I will say he is a damn good rapper because, and I say that because if you listen, he has so many different styles, like insanely different. You listen to his new hits nowadays, the Drake diss, listen to when everyone was talking about the greatest of all time. You won't even think that's the same rapper besides he sounds like his actual voice sounds the same. Totally different styles. Everything's different. So many different albums. When he's featured on something, he like fits almost every song like well. Like you can tell he probably actually really worked with them and not just like, I'm f***ing Kendrick Lamar. I'll f***ing go in here. I'll just rap like Eminem and basically who kind of sounds the same a lot of times and stuff. And you sit there and you're just like, no, like, Kanye, I will say, another great reason why Kanye is amazing is he does have so many different styles.
Yeah. And
almost every style he does, if it's not a banger, it's at least like, this is solid. Like, no real complaints besides him gassing me for air. But, you know, like...
yeah, exactly.
But I do get it because there was for a hot minute, like, if you did do anything rap related, Kendrick was there.
Yeah.
And it was, the worst part was, it's like Mariah Carey during Christmas. It's the same ones.
Yeah.
It's the same ones.
It's Humble, like, it's this and that.
Yeah. And it's like...
I can't stand Humble. Yeah, it's so overplayed. I liked it when the album dropped, and then it's like, I heard it way too much. Yeah, I can't stand it.
I don't know. I love Humble, though.
Like, it is a good song, but the overplayed on that one is insane. Yeah. So, like, I get where you're coming from, but... he's a great rapper.
Yeah,
he's great.
I mean, he's definitely
talented.
skilled. He's very talented. His music isn't exactly my cup of tea. It's good, but it doesn't resonate with me as much as it seems to resonate with other people, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. But it's just like, oh man, when I think about overrated rappers, it's just every time I think about Kendrick Lamar, I can only think of just like him basically like
bunch of meat riders on him.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Essentially. Everybody was just like up his butthole. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like
well,
he's great, but he doesn't deserve that level of praise.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's fair. That is so fair.
Yeah, I would agree with that in the sense of like, I don't think he deserves 6 Grammys. Compared to like all the other rappers
You're so
we've
locked
heard.
on the Grammys.
Yeah, well, I see him that picture of him
Grammys
holding
hold
all of
value
them,
to
and I'm
them.
like, sure,
I just find
if
it
they
so
really,
funny because I
like if he
don't watch
deserves
Grammys.
it, sure. Like I haven't heard everything from him, but I think of like 50 Cent. I think of a lot of dudes that have really worked hard and have put a lot out there over the years, and Kendrick is one of those for sure. But I think of other people that never got that reward, that never got that. Kind of like, you know, the Academy. Like, oh, we're going to reward this person because it makes us look good. We're going to give Best Picture to Moonlight instead of La La Land because we're past that in America and this is the new age or whatever. It feels like it's a little bit of that, but I feel like there's enough hardcore people who are at the Grammys. I mean, they're all musicians, obviously. Also music executives, so that's another aspect. So they're going to give it to the guy that sold a bunch, but also who resonates with the voting base.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because I'm like, I don't think I've ever watched the Grammys in my damn life.
Yeah.
You saying he has 6, I'm just like, I honestly thought that was a low number. Like, I don't know.
No, it's like he's the most rewarded rapper.
Okay. See, because I don't know shit on Grammys, but I'm sitting here just like,
yeah.
I don't know because I'm like, 6 Grammys. But then when you really think of it, it's like almost every year it seems like he has some new one insane popular banger And it's like
Or whole album.
whole album that are
Yeah.
people like raving over.
Yeah, they're
And you said
raving
50
about
Cent. And it's like 50 Cent has a lot of great stuff, but also he has so much mediocre with it
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
You're
Yeah.
sitting there and it's like, or a lot of these other people, it's like some of my favorite things, like, okay, here's a positive thing. Drake, he does have some good raps, but every single thing I like that Drake was, I think, good in, he was only a feature. It was never his own song. He was a feature. He just did a few lines, and then left. Called it good.
All right, well, I'm going to retract the 50 Cent thing because he has like a gajillion awards over the last 20 years. So I'm going to retract that. But I don't know. I see that and I don't know. I think of some of the smaller rappers and I'm like, it's just, I don't think the attention's on them. That's probably why. You
Well,
know?
I mean, the sad thing is why Grammys and award shows are
Yeah, they're all-
is
they're all BS anyway.
yeah,
So.
the small people won't get it because you're not small if you get one.
Yeah.
That's is what it is.
Yeah.
Like
I will say I did like Squabble Up a lot on the new album. Like I
Yeah.
did like that. That's a
Banger.
banger, dude.
Banger.
As well as Not Like Us. Like I really like that song. Yes, it's hard to understand him sometimes in a lot of ways, but if you watch the Super Bowl performance, it's a fun watch. Like he puts on a show. He's a good entertainer.
just
he knows
even
what
all
he's
the
doing.
little hidden stuff in that
all the
one.
little
Yeah.
designs in there too. Like
That's-
also, it looks like the PlayStation icons.
It was.
randomly.
Yeah, it was.
See,
No,
that
it
was
was.
that was
That was
another
so
thing.
random.
That was another thing that feeds into my
Uh-oh.
that feeds into my
Uh-oh.
You triggered him.
Oh, no!
that characterization of him as overrated is his Super Bowl performance.
Podies.
It wasn't it wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was bad. Okay.
Yeah.
But like the production, not the production, sorry, the mixing
Oh yes,
was
Well, that's-
horrendous. You could not
well-
understand him at all.
I will give you that. The actual performance wise, I did think, I don't want to say flop, but I was expecting so much better. But I do like all the little hidden things. And then, like, like the whole thing was, if you watch it all, like every little thing about it was just a Drake diss.
Well,
in
that's
it,
the thing. That's the
which is
thing. What I'm
entertaining.
saying. That's the thing. What I'm saying is, I'm not, like, I haven't listened to all of his stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I've been living under a rock. I feel like because the Super Bowl, I think, was the first time I've even heard "Not Like Us."
Damn.
Yeah, that's strange.
That is strange.
So like, I was so like the fact that you couldn't understand any of what he was saying, like you had to have been familiar
Yeah.
with his
No,
songs
to heard it
already to
once.
know
That
what
makes
he
sense.
was doing.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening because all the lyrics are being mushed into a indistinct mumble by the production.
Oh, yeah. I
And
will
then you
give you that.
had all the people on social media afterwards, because I think a lot of people reacted negatively to it. For one thing, because of that, and for two, because I think Kendrick Lamar is people who aren't rap fans in particular. Kendrick Lamar is going to be off-putting to them. So
Yes.
Yeah,
all the
probably.
people watching the
Probably.
Super Bowl who don't like rap music and they saw Kendrick Lamar on there, they reacted badly to it.
Oh, 100%.
And then what happened on social media, all of the people who are up his butthole,
How many times
Came
can we
falling
say
out?
that?
Yeah.
As we're describing this.
essentially, yes, they came
When he
falling
gaped
out.
a little, they just flop.
They came falling out onto social
Oh,
media
man.
with post after post of like, you just didn't understand the symbolism. It's like, I understood the symbolism. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
No,
Yeah.
which is 100% fair. And that's what I was going to say. Like, the symbolism and everything was entertaining. But if you don't know it, it means nothing to you, like, at all. So it's like, it's great, all this stuff. But I will say, you're right. However they set it up, you couldn't really understand him very well. That was just, I don't know whose fault that was, but that was really poor production value for being the Super Bowl. And we all know.
And that was another issue with that was the same issue when they had Dr. Dre, Snoop, and Eminem on the
Yeah.
other Super Bowl. It was really hard to hear a lot of what they were saying as well. But I think there's a lot of Super Bowls that are like that. If you remember the Black Eyed Peas, I think it was like 2013 or something. random.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the most crappy Super Bowl show I've ever seen.
Then you
could
get
not
some
hear
like
them
the
at all.
Weekend, which
Yeah,
you're just
the
like the
Oh my
whole
God.
time, like,
better.
what is this?
Yeah, what is
But
this?
production value was insanely
Yeah.
good.
Insane.
Like insanely good for trash.
Yeah. It's
Like that was one of the
they had,
worst
like,
Super
one
Bowl
good
shows
song
I
and that's
can
it.
remember.
Like,
either way,
But the
Drake,
Shot Boys, on the
I mean,
other hand,
the
they're
Shot
pretty
Boys.
dang good.
But you never said you're overrated.
Yeah, so I'm looking through my Jake's Rap That Slaps playlist on Spotify, and I'm trying to find one artist to pick from here because I'm like,
You're supposed to hate one of them. You
Yeah,
need
I'm
to
supposed
go through your own playlist.
Why are you looking? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so
playlists. They
here's
don't.
my thing. I was gonna say one pick, but then I don't like. I was gonna say Jay-Z, but I have no idea his discography or anything. Like I've only heard like 5 songs from Jay-Z, so I'm gonna probably pick. I either want to go like non-mainstream or mainstream. I'm probably gonna go mainstream. I'm gonna pick Cardi B. I feel like she's one of the most overrated
Finally,
rap
someone
artists.
says a female rapper, and
Because-
it's a diss.
Because her and Megan Thee Stallion, yeah, they're just, you can tell that they're creative. Don't get me wrong. I feel like some of them are creative. Like I love what's it called?
Do you?
It's the one. It's the one. Oh, I have it in here. Oh, like that. Her version of an old like kind of like it's an older song called Like It Like That, and her version of that,
Yeah.
solid song, such a banger. I love that song so much, but I just feel like a lot of her stuff is just all samey. It all just leads to the same thing,
Yeah.
and it's like it just doesn't. Well, first off, it doesn't appeal to me, and second of all, it's not very creative.
Yeah.
Like some of her lyrical rapping though is pretty talented, but I feel like she's not writing her own songs. Or if
Probably
she
not.
is, they're creative.
Yeah.
Whatever she can get on the radio.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
You know, whatever will go viral on TikTok nowadays is
Yeah.
basically what they're all depending on. So.
Yeah, which I get, but honestly, that's so many female rappers in general. It's like right now, if you want to become a popular female rapper, you got to show your ass, show your tits, and make sure everyone knows you a hoe in one way or another. Like, and not dissing on any of that, but it is like that's your lock.
Yeah.
You're really locked into that style. Once you kind of do
Yeah.
it, it's hard to get out of that style.
Yeah.
Because people expect it. And like with Cardi, though, you are so right, especially that fucking noise she does.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God, no.
Forgot
no.
about that. Well,
Like-
also, like her and Megan Thee Stallion, like it's just, God, how many injections can you get into your butt? Like this is like ridiculous. Injections
A
in terms of
lot.
needles is what I'm talking about. Like,
A
God, they
lot.
made him so dang big. Like you're not even human anymore. Like, stop it.
It's bigger
Like-
than my belly.
So like,
Like one of those African fertility goddess statues.
Jesus.
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 So I would pick Cardi B just because I feel like there's some good stuff there, but it's rare. Like it's really rare.
Yeah.
At least for me.
I will give you that. No,
You know?
like
I was also gonna say like, you know, go into the counterculture kind of stuff like Tom McDonald. I would pick him just because all of his stuff is the same. I was a big fan when I first heard of him. I think he's really cool. However,
Tom McDonald's he's a white guy.
He's a
who
white guy,
does
conservative
basically
rapper.
like conservative rappers.
yeah, who
so-
just talks about how bad the left is,
Like
basically.
wildlife.
So you're
And goes
not
against the
racist.
culture.
you are against white people too. Good to know.
Good to know.
Yeah,
I've covered all the
he's
spectrums
he's,
here, guys.
He's the kind of person who basically raps about how there's only 2 genders and stuff like that.
and I'm not gonna apologize for it, which was cool like 6 years ago, but now it's like, okay, pal, like, cool, like whatever.
Well-
like it's just the same stuff every time.
Yeah.
for me,
I get that. I do because
I want some variety. Like, I get it. I'm not a Sabrina Carpenter fan, but the stuff she's doing in her performances and some of the creative weird stuff she does on her Netflix special that she did, I don't.
No, I know this one. I know who this is.
So like,
who's this?
But I'm very intrigued if
well, because sex sells. We all know that.
Okay,
but it's
he
cool
does
to
know
see
for the same
Sabrina
reasons.
Carpenter is like trying to break out of that with humor. She's basically becoming Miss Piggy. Like that's what she's got, blonde pigtails, and she's gonna depend on the humor and
oh, her.
her. That's
yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Oh. Oh.
The coffee, whatever song, and the please.
I know who you.
I don't know a single
okay.
song by her.
Okay, sorry.
So like, I can commend her trying to break out of that. Where she's already in the game, she's already in the club, but she's trying to break out of that. She's trying to do something different. Kind of like the way Miley Cyrus was like first coming on the scene, but then she just stuck to it and everything. And I don't know, it's a good example. Anyway, my pick would be Tom McDonald and Cardi B or whatever. So that'd be my pick.
Okay.
Cardi B's easy to hate.
Dude, it's so easy to hate.
Yeah.
Like, so easy
Well,
because
I'm terrible. You know me. I like a lot of stuff, like nearly everything. Like I'm
Yeah.
terrible to give recommendations.
You're not much of a hater.
I'm not much of a hater, but like I would pick those.
no,
That's fair,
and that's
that's fair.
valid because even think of Cardi B, like, I know there's songs I liked of her.
Yeah.
I could not tell you anything about them
Mm.
because honestly, it's probably I put on any and I'd be like, oh, this doesn't sound like I thought. Oh, because it's not the song I was thinking of, but it's so similar.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't notice.
You want to listen to Cardi B later, David?
I'm good.
Okay.
She has a pair of Swisher Sweet Uggs. That's all I really know.
I mean, that actually sounds kind of legit.
They're pretty gas. They're pretty cool.
Dude,
Are they
like
They look
that.
cool. Yeah, they're
Uggs.
Ugg boots.
Oh,
They're
okay, yeah,
Swisher
yeah.
Sweet. The like
I was like, what-
cigarillo.
Dude, that actually
They're
is
pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
Hmm.
Damn.
I just saw the video. She like flexing them,
Here's
and
my
she's like, "You guys
Uggs."
don't have these," and it's like, "But yeah, that's
Yeah.
valid. I do.
it probably
Those
costs
are
more than
cool
I
as
make a
heck."
year.
All right. Well, I think we're going to end it there.
Yeah?
Thank
you sure?
Yeah, we're going to end it there. Thank
Jake's
you.
tired of us.
Thanks.
No,
Sounds
no,
edgy.
It's like you've given us a lot of your time.
I'm
and we
sitting here
appreciate
like
it.
he realized he opened the door to talk about good things on female rappers and he's running because he has nothing good to say.
Like it, like
I like
it's a good
Doja
song.
Cat.
You like
Dude.
Doja Cat? I don't even.
Doja Cat's
I don't
cool.
even know much of her stuff.
Oh my God. Her music videos, I will say, are actually a watch. I'm not a music video person, but they make no sense. They are wild. They are insane. And the whole time you're just like, what?
Oh.
Like one of them with all the meat, like raw meat in it,
Oh, okay,
insane
yeah.
amounts. And you're just like, what the f?
Yeah, it
is
reminds me
this?
of like that stuff reminds me of Lady Gaga's music videos, like just the weird ass stuff you'd see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one's actually good.
Nah. Did you guys ever hear a Supa man? SUPA man? Supa?
You switched it right back to guys. I see.
Well, I'm saying I think
But
he's also
no.
a Native American rapper. So
I
there we go.
have no clue.
He's kind of reminds me of Red Cloud, but like more hardcore, I guess you could say. And he's legit. Like, look up Superman Deadly Pens. Really good stuff. Really good album. Anyway. Anybody else want to throw anything out there?
Come on.
Anybody?
Come on, Jacob.
Is
You
there
got
any-
a question? Do it. Do it.
A question?
Do
No,
it.
no, just like a recommendation or whatever. I'm ending it now.
Ooh, David, you have to listen to like older Kendrick and then random niche releases that aren't popular.
So, I will say, just because you said a little bit of nerdy rap, there's
Yeah.
a guy I've been listening to, and you gotta listen to him when the room's quiet because he does really, like, he has a soft voice and everything's quiet, but Lee Sin,
How do you
and
spell that?
he does Lee space SIN.
SIN. Okay.
He does like there's some weird little nerdy things in it, but so far every single one I've heard has just been solid. But it's like if you're like some in a room with people talking and stuff, you're not going to hear shit. Like it's just nice, calm, chill. But then so we can give a positive note on female rappers. I know I'm going to butcher her name. What's the one you said she's like one of the best female rappers? It starts with a D.
Oh, Doechii.
Yes.
Oh, I've heard of
Doechie's
her.
gas.
D-O-C-H? D-O-C-H? Is it-
Doechii.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doechie's cool.
Fire.
Cool.
We got to at least say one positive thing about the women.
Yeah.
You know,
Doja
like
Cat and Doechii.
trying not get
Oh,
you
yeah,
guys
I've heard of
canceled.
this chick. She's cool.
I mean-
She's cool.
Female rappers is such an interesting thing because I'm like,
Don't get canceled, David. Watch out.
like I said, I kind of live under a rock when it comes to a lot of pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
So I have the things that I like, and I'm very hesitant to really branch out. So a lot of the rap that I like is from an era when basically all the like
Missy
well-known female rappers were like, you know, pretty much of a very like there was a very certain style to them, and
Yeah.
it just was not my thing.
I will say that's why I do like because hers isn't like she does have some songs that fits the certain styles, but overall they are not. So
Although oddly enough, the one song by a female rapper that comes into my head more often than any other is Anaconda by Nicki Minaj. I don't know.
Anaconda.
I don't know how she managed to make a song that like gets stuck into my head like like semi-regularly, even though I haven't listened to anything by her in like probably 6, 7, 8 years or more.
That's so
Probably because of
weird.
the mix-a-lot like esque of the song.
Yeah, but that's so weird because a song that gets locked in my head randomly, and I don't know why, and it's actually the Nicki part gets locked in my head, is The Creep by Lonely Island when she's doing her.
Oh,
part.
yeah!
Like, amazing, and it's so clean, and it's so hilarious and creepy. Like, I'm in the boys' locker room and stuff because the whole song's
forgot
about people
about that.
creep. Have you not seen it?
No.
You need to watch the music video, Drake.
All right.
Jake, oh,
Don't call me Drake.
Whoa.
Don't
Oh
call
my
me
God.
Drake.
Whoa.
but and it's just
I'm not that canceled,
it's just
okay?
so funny. But it's like it's old Nicki. Like this came out when I was in high school.
What's it called?
The Creep by Lonely Island.
I think I've heard of this song.
Are you a Saturday Night Live fan? Okay, it
Valid.
originated from the band did from them.
Oh, really?
I mean, you've heard Threw It on the Ground, right?
I took it
I'm
and
on
I
a
threw
boat.
it
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
it's
I know
them.
That's
Oh, what
and
a
yeah,
random poll. Dang.
And
Richie.
her part though is amazing. Like the flow, everything about it. And
Holy
I will
crap,
laugh.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
Just it's so
Do the
clean.
creep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
but
song.
Her part is so clean. Like, listen to it, everything she does, and it's like hilarious, creepy, but then like she flows it so well. You're just like, she really does have some skill. And then nowadays you just see, oh, there's some ass,
Yeah.
and I'm just like kind of like disappointed because
Yeah.
like Anaconda is an amazing song, and I don't know why, but her part in that song will pop in my head, and it like it's just hilarious, great, like.
Because that's the I like big butts like line from by Sir Mix-a-Lot,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Or
That's what
Anaconda?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
so
It's
glad you
like
brought up Sir
stolen
Mix-a-Lot.
directly from his song. Yeah,
I was going to drop Sir
well,
Mix-a-Lot
isn't
before
he
we
like?
did.
I feel like he was a part of that song or something. on
I'm not
Anaconda.
sure. But what about like Starships or like OG?
Starships is good.
Starships is
Yeah.
good. Hecka good. Her first few stuff was
Well,
pretty
that's
good.
what I'm kind of like saying. Her first few before she really went into,
Yeah.
and like I don't care, sexualize yourself, do all that, you know. But like, I hate it when you hear like somebody who, you're like, why did you even do that? Because truthfully, if you love that style of music, go for it. I'm not going to diss you, but at least occasionally go back because you have some actual real shit.
Yeah.
yeah, no, she's talented for sure, but
Mhm.
a lot of her music is just not my thing.
Yeah.
Just trying to get on the radio at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which I can't even remember the last time I turned on a radio.
Yeah.
So
Who does with smartphones? Honestly, it was just
even before streaming became like a big like the way to listen to music, I had already stopped listening to the radio. That's so like her trying to get on the radio is not going to get my attention.
That's so valid though.
Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys being here. This was a lot of freaking fun.
It was
I'm
pretty
not
cool.
gonna lie. I had a good time. So I hope you guys did too.
Oh yeah, for a
don't care if David
podcast
had a
I
good
probably
time.
won't listen to. Solid.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen to this. You're gonna have to send this to your mom as well, you know. Or your dad, you know. You'd be like, "Hey, Gerald, we heard you're a fan of Tribe Called Quest. You down?"
Actually,
What
we were
the
talking
hell?
about Biggie at the time, fool.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, Biggie. Sorry, it's been a few hours since I said that, so I don't remember that far back. You know what I mean?
Jesus, man. Jesus.
Anyway, thank you, Richard. Thank you, Jacob.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys taking the time of your day. And again, thank you, David, as well, for being you.
I hope you
because-
guys don't get canceled after this.
Well, I feel like if we haven't gotten already after the 55 other episodes we've done,
Oh, invite us on for a part 2 and we will make sure it happens.
episode 69 is on its way, I'm sure. So we'll put it on there. But anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to this. We appreciate you. If you want to send more Sir Mix-a-Lots mixtapes our way, just send them over to snarpfanglepod@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube and all that good stuff. And we'll see you in another episode, hopefully soon, which is going to be a good one. I'm going to go fix some Xboxes, and I will see you all later. And don't forget to Snarp Fangle on.
Bye-bye now.